And Gina, that point that you make is such a great one. You get to run alongside some of the best in the world. We'll never get to get onto the basketball court with LeBron James.
No, I don't think that's coming for us.
We'll never get onto the golf course with Tiger Woods, but you can run here. And we are off and running. 51st edition of the Chevron Houston Marathon, 22nd edition of the Aramco Half Marathon. As Des mentioned, you come to Houston because you want to run for the record books, and John laid it out for us. It's not just the American record. There are other people from other great nations who come to Houston to set new national standards for their countries as well, because everybody knows it's a great event, it's so well organized, and the course is fast, fast, fast.
You know, we talk every year about the temperature, and it is, I think I heard 20 degrees warmer today, John, than it was this time last year.
We were freezing up here last year.
We were freezing.
And that was maybe a little cold, but it's a pretty good temperature for the marathon. Des and I were talking a second ago, and I think today's weather is really good for the half.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think there's a good chance those will be fast like we expect. The marathon, and they're trying to run really fast. There's a pacer for the men that's trying to go 2:07, trying to get the record. They're going to go out. You'll see his name on there, Barrios. Barrios is not in the race necessarily. He's pacing. And he's going to try to pull him to a super fast pace, and they're going to probably do well for an hour and a half maybe, and then the combination of the wind kicking up and the heat, especially when the sun comes out, if it comes out, hopefully it doesn't, well, it'll be a real advantage.
And let me have you go back and talk a little bit about pacers, because again, to the average person at home who's not a big runner but who's trying to learn about these elite runners who run long distance, Des, can you talk to us a little bit about how pacers work and what that means to a runner?
Yeah, it's a mixed group today. So we have some for the marathon, not any in the half, and you'll see that kind of play out throughout the day. But in the marathon, they're going to go out and set a 2:07 pace. So the mile split is going to be perfect. Ideally, if they're doing their job, every single mile will be the same split to set them up for that 2:07 at the end. And it's just the most efficient, effective way to cover the distance. They'll step off at some point, and then the racers will be in charge of dictating their own pace, and then tactics come into play. Do I surge here to try to break someone? How is my competitor feeling? But up to the point when you have the pacer, you want to just tuck in, turn off your brain, and trust that they are doing the most efficient job each mile to get you to the end.
Haven't we had pacers win before?
Rarely
okay.
It happens. The famous one was Paul Pilkington way back with the LA Marathon. He was supposed to run a set pace through 18 miles. When he got to 18 miles, nobody was in sight, so he just shrugged his shoulders and went ahead and finished.
You're fired.
but he was on pace. As having been a pacer, they only reimburse you if you hold the right pace.
Okay.
So if you're getting ahead for some reason they don't go with you, it's like you still run that pace.
So
and they're running, Barrios is looking to run 450 pace, just to give you an idea, 450 mile for 26 of those. He's going to try to do half marathon about 15 miles, and then he'll pull out. And what often happens in these races, if there's no pacer, especially when you have, like I said, there's 3 competitors that really have a shot at the 2:07, you don't want to be tactical too early and they slow down and don't get the time. Ideally, they'll get to 15 miles, and then they can start racing, and that'll really tend to give them fast time.
We're looking at the elite pack out front, but there were a lot of people, a lot of our friends and neighbors who have spent months trying to train to be out here today. And some of them, as you mentioned at the top, Greg, running in honor of people, family members, friends who perhaps had an illness or who couldn't run or who did run and they've joined them in the pursuit. Run for a Reason has been a really special component of this event. It's been an opportunity for the Houston Marathon committee to ally this event with our local charities. $35 million have been raised. And one of the things we usually see is people shedding clothes throughout this race, and that becomes a donation to Star of Hope. I'm not seeing clothes being shed because no one kept the jacket on from the beginning.
It's a lot warmer today, and it's amazing to me how quickly the field spreads out as the elite runners begin to make their mark. Let's head down to the start line with our Adam Winkler. Good morning, Adam.
Greg, good morning to you and everybody on the desk. You know, Gina, you were just talking about these runners shedding clothes as they go by. Just before you get to that start line, there are bins, one on each side of the street, for the runners to drop those sweatshirts and sweatpants that they've been using all morning. But y'all are exactly right. There's really no need to layer because these conditions are so mild. And for me, it's a little bit moving because I'm able to see the reason so many folks are running. They've got their t-shirts. Some of them have hats, why they're doing it, messages to loved ones or foundations. Last year, that was something that I missed because they were so bundled up. And I personally was wearing man muffs last year, so I totally understand how cold it was. It is lovely to be out here as we do this for the 51st time, seeing smiles on the faces because as y'all talked about, this is weeks, months of training leading up to that gun going off 1 minute past the 7 o'clock hour, and they're running 13.1 or 26.2 miles through our incredible city. And what a fantastic city and setting it is. From down here at the start line, we'll send it back to y'all.
Adam, thank you. If I could jump in with our experts here, already we're starting to see the elites fall into line here. Des, is this what you would expect this early in the race? You kind of, as you said, tuck in and turn your mind off. Are we seeing that play out already?
It's a very aggressive move by the man in front here. And he's just, you know, setting a pretty... There's the gap right there. So you see he's doing something pretty aggressive. He's taking a chance here. They were 4:41 through the first mile. So he's getting after it. And, you know, it's decision time for these guys. Is it for real, or is this something, is this the 27-0 Charger lead at the half? You know?
Current events. I mean, Des.
That one stung, so it's fresh on my mind.
As a San Diego native.
Yeah, ripped right out of the NFL headlines last night. That's awesome.
Zahir Talbot's got a really interesting history. He just graduated from Oklahoma City College as an NAIA runner. And there's weird rules out there. He would run cross country and indoor track for them, but he wasn't eligible for outdoor track because he was a pro. So he's run this race before. He's got about a 10-second lead, but he's not really running very fast. He came through 4:41, which is like 61:30 pace.
And Connor Mance is right behind him.
Connor Mance is someone that ran the second fastest debut marathon by an American earlier this year in Chicago with a 2:18.16, and he's someone I thought would be pushing the pace more. I mean, I thought he'd be trying to get under 61 or maybe get to the 60-30 range. It'd be interesting to see what they do because right now they shouldn't be hitting any sort of maybe a crosswind a little bit. The wind shouldn't be hitting them in the face. So this is unusually slow.
It's a little bit of eyeing each other up, gamesmanship, and I think they just were kind of rocked back on their heels while he made this move. And it looks like Mance is kind of stringing that out and being the aggressor here to close it up. Says, okay, it's time to get serious. It's early on, but no more warming up. Let's just get going here.
When you were in the race here, the year that you qualified for the Olympics, when you come in, is your goal based on time? Is it based on who the field is? Is it based on where you are in your training or how your body feels that day? How do you make the call?
Yeah, Olympic trials, it's all about place, top three, and I think that, you know, Houston has two different things going on. People love to come here to run fast. They chase records. The temperatures are good. But it's still a race. You want to get that top spot. And, you know, Mance wasn't shy about saying he was here to win. A lot of the guys in the group around him are thinking the exact same thing. So they're racing to get the win. The time will come as a product of that.
Yeah, there's bonus money for time, but they give the prize monies for the place.
Right.
How much money do you get?
$10,000 for the win and a half.
$10,000 for the win and a half. $30,000 for the marathon?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a good incentive.
I think they realize Talby's not a guy that's just kind of a, you know, I'm going to get on TV type guy. He's running a 62 flat, and he's kind of running that kind of pace right now. They can't let him go.
Okay.
He's not.
He might be able to sustain this.
Yes. This is what he does this for a living. He's very good at this. So they know they got to close it up. They should beat him, but what you don't want to do is forget that he's out there. They can steal the race. It's kind of what happened with a couple years ago with Nia when she won the half marathon here from Japan. They didn't expect her to go. And then she said she's got a gap at, well, she went 66:38 too, but they didn't go with her because they didn't know who she was necessarily, and they kind of should have because she had, you know, she's a Japanese record holder in the 10K and gone to a few Olympics and she's outstanding. So we haven't seen her yet, but it'll be interesting to see what they're doing in those races.
You know, we just showed a split screen a moment ago for some of the athletes with disabilities that are running today and participating today. There's our starting line there as people just get started. The regular athletes just get started. But we have such a diversity in a number of people. There's a visually impaired runner running with someone, in fact, one of our co-workers, Justin Sternberg, one of 4 Channel 13 people running today. He always runs every year with a visually impaired runner. But I wanted to point out our oldest runner in the half marathon, 87 years young. In the marathon, 84 years. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have a 7-year-old athlete, I believe, in the half, and I think 12 in the full marathon. So all sorts of folks are out here today.
And Gina, we also have a record number of adaptive athletes who have joined the field. It is a source of tremendous pride to the organizers. Everyone is welcome, and they do such a great job to make them feel welcome and to give them a great experience. Just after 4 o'clock this morning, we saw a family getting their adaptive runner ready to go. What a great experience for them here in Houston. We're getting some split times, John, Talby, and Mance. You can kind of update us on what we're seeing there.
They're picking it up right now. And you can tell from the background. And Mance is leading the charge. Yeah, they're going to close this gap, and it's not because Talby's slowing down a whole lot, because they've really picked it up. They're about 4:32, 4:33 pace over the last K or last 1,000 meters. So they're about to get going on a really good race. And I think the reason Mance is ahead, he's got a little gap, is because he's going that hard.
And we are talking about the half marathon field here, the Aramco half marathon with Connor Mance. Des, you picked up on it just like I did. His confidence is really off the charts. So I got a chance to talk to him at the pre-race press conference. He is a big believer. He's got a championship background at BYU. Feels like his training is right where he wants it. As you mentioned, he showed up here planning to win.
Definitely. I think, he had a great year last year. A lot of confidence from that. His first year as a pro. Set a really great personal best or debut record for the Americans in Chicago. You just use that momentum, and you're seeing the confidence build, and he believes he can contend with anyone. A lot of familiar faces around him, though, too. He's got plenty of NCAA folks that he matched up with. Wesley Kiptoo is in there. He had a great sprint finish in cross country with, so that's a familiar name and face. And Edward Cheserek from Oregon several years back now. He's kind of getting his pro legs under him and taking a second crack at this half marathon. So plenty of company around him that can definitely push him through to the end.
Again, you're looking at the starting line as some people just get going on this journey. But we also have runners that are starting to enter the River Oaks area. And that's where there's first of all, a good overhead look at the course for the half marathon. We have Bob Slovak standing by for us live. And Bob, how are things looking out there? I believe you're on Gray, West Gray?
Throughout the course of the weekend, 32,000 runners.
Okay, we're having some microphone. Yes. Okay, so Bob's mic isn't working, but he's showing us some of the 250,000 spectators that come along out here that are expected to line the route and cheer on the runners. Do you notice at all, Des, the spectators who are there? I know for commoners, for regular weekend athletes, they really do notice having friends and family along the route cheering for them. But when you're an elite runner, do you even notice them?
I think the half marathoners are just dialed in and they're ripping away. If you're in the marathon, it's all about patience early, and you're going to notice some things out there. And yeah, there's times where you see a good sign and you chuckle, and you're just trying to stay relaxed for as long as possible. So it helps. It absolutely helps.
I know Bob's microphone. We'll get that yes, ironed out. But boy, those young faces sure were cute. Let's go, Papa, is what the sign said. Cheering on Dad out here.
That will get Papa hype for sure.
Absolutely. That'll be something that he will never forget.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
You guys were this age when I passed you, and it meant so much that you made that sign out there with Mom. You can see some of our adaptive athletes. It is fantastic. Let's go back to Bob Slovak. We got the microphone. I can hear Bob. Bob, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. What a beautiful morning out here for the runners and for everybody out here to cheer them on. And this is a great scene out here at River Oaks Shopping Center. We're at the 4-mile marker. And again, we show the little girl saying, "Let's go, Papa." We love that. So it's going to be a great day out here. Hey, I had an opportunity to run this race last year. I ran the half marathon. It was a bucket list deal. It wasn't working at the TV station, so I said, hey, why not? Let's go run the half marathon. Trained as much as I could. This is the 4-mile marker. I'm going to tell you, when I got here last year, my adrenaline was still pumping. I was running pretty fast at a pretty good clip. We talked about pacing. Well, I was running too fast because as I got farther down into the race, like mile 9 and 10, the old body started tightening up, and the last 3 miles was a little bit of a struggle. But like a lot of people, I was running for my mom, who had passed away a few months before last year's race. So she was running with me those last 3 miles. She helped me along the way to finish. I was trying to break 2.5 hours. I got in 2:40. So, but the last 3 miles, it was a struggle, but Mom was there. This was me at the finish line last year.
How was it? Man, it was awesome. My first ever half marathon. I've always wanted to run it. Ran it for my mom, who passed away last year. Her favorite color was purple. Got my purple beard. She helped me through. Thank you, Mom. We made it.
As you can see, I had a little bit different look last year while I wasn't working at the TV station, but ran for Mom. It was an incredible experience, and I'm sure a lot of these runners are going to feel the same way as this race day continues. Back to you guys.
Bob and I were able to talk shortly thereafter. It meant so much to him on so many levels. And as we've talked about, Gina, those stories repeated just countless times every year. And every time you hear them, they are inspiring.
It really is. And it reminds you that events like this really bring us together. And not just our community, but the world, because the world is represented here at the Houston Marathon. I know you're itching to tell us about what's going on, John.
This is awesome. I mean, it's wide, so they made it's not really going super fast, but they're not jogging either. They're keeping things about in the 60-30 sub 61 sort of pace. So it's I said earlier it could be super fast or regular fast. They're at regular fast right now. They're mixing up the leads between, like they're showing you now, with Kiptu, Mance, Chezarek, Lewell's up there.
Talby's down to 9th.
I mean, look how close it is. He tucked in the pack.
Yeah.
Most likely he'll get dropped eventually.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Yes, as a prediction. But now I think this is who's taking the lead. Might be El Arabe.
No. Wesley, right? Is the lead?
No,
it's shuffling as we speak.
Yeah, they're constantly changing, and somebody's going to take a chance and really start pushing the pace here.
If I could ask Des, how unusual is this to see this much jockeying for position and see people 4, 5, 6, 7 wide in the earlier shot this early in an elite field?
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think no one wants to be an aggressor when you pull the pacers out of it. So you say, we're not just tucking him behind this guy. He's taking charge of the pace, and everyone's going to wait. Do you want to exert the energy to be out front? Do you want to have people sitting on you and drafting? And so you're going to see a lot of rotating and people playing their cards where they think they have a good shot or making the moves. It's going to be more tactical, more decision-making, and honestly a lot more fun. This is racing where they're not thinking about the time anymore. They're just going, how do I break competitors? How do I win? And they're thinking about that at 5K all the way through to the end. So every move matters. Every decision is going to factor.
They're on a mid-61 pace right now. What I think is going to be really interesting, because what we hear, sitting where we're right now, there's no wind, but there's wind out there. And when this half marathon starts going north on Montrose, it's going to be a straight tailwind with a slight downhill. The second half of this race could be way faster than the first half, because it's not like no one's trying. I mean, they're all being aggressive. Connor Mance just looks like he's hammering behind him. I think he'll probably take the lead when
Connor's
the time is right.
in the blue.
He's right behind Talby, right behind
with the blonde hair.
Yes. The bouncy blonde hair, and so I think they're gonna really start spreading out here at some point. But they're running pretty well. I thought also of interest, we don't see it yet, but the women's marathon leader is mixing in with the men's marathon right now.
Okay,
so that's an interesting mix.
We're gonna get to Bob Slovak live again as that lead pack begins to pass him. Bob.
Yeah, they're coming up on West Gray here, right at the River Oaks Shopping Center, mile marker number 4. They're still pretty ways back. Can't really see them yet. The police escort out in front with the pace trucks coming our way. Yeah, as you said, they've got a pretty good pace going on here as we reach the 4-mile marker, and we'll see how long that lasts today. But we talk about the weather. Now, last year, y'all mentioned it earlier, it's about I would say like almost 25 degrees warmer than it was last year. It was quite chilly as the race started last year, but this today not bad at all. We'll see how it lasts the rest of the day, and hopefully, as John said, hopefully this cloud cover will stay with us as the runners get a little bit closer here. We'll bring them into focus as they get in. They're about 100 yards from our vantage point right now. I will tell you this, lots of fans lining the route here, and there'll be more as we go along. And here comes the pack. And as you guys have been talking about it, there is a number of runners all bunched together right here as they come past us. I will tell you, I don't know that pace right there. That was not my pace last year, but those are the elite runners, and it looks like they're going to be having a very good 2-hour run with each other.
Bob, thank you. If I could mention one more name, one of Houston's own, I recognize Frank Lara in that lead pack. Frank is a great story, straight Jesuit. You asked Des earlier, do you notice the fans? Do you hear what they say? Last year running in his hometown, he noticed everybody. And he talked about how much that meant to him. He would see people on the side of the road cheering him on, wearing perhaps a straight Jesuit shirt.
Yeah.
And he would think to himself, you know what? I don't know that I know you personally, but I recognize you. And it just meant the world to him to have that kind of support. He is here. You can see him in kind of the peach off to the left. He is here to make a serious run at trying to win the half marathon.
We also see on the split screen there a female runner. And, you know, Des, last year, the women really were the headline of this event. Women runners have made such progress. I mean, we see women now, like the winner last year, Kira, with her 2 children at the finish line, there to embrace her. We know there have been a lot of developments in terms of contracts for women runners, and so we're looking at a woman there that's with the male. I think this is a female. Is it a half marathoner there with the men?
It is. She has about a 15-second lead on Emily Sisson. That was our last update. So she's got a nice jump on a really great group of women behind her that are running quite quickly. So we'll try to get some more accurate 5K split just popped up. So 15-14, just taking a big swing at this. She's a 2:19:10 woman, so this is in line with you know, what she's capable of. So yeah, just making a statement here, and I think 104.13 pace is a little bit aggressive. I think that's a bit rich, but
I was going to say, yesterday we said, well, no one's going to get the course record. That one they ran last year was too great. The fastest time ever run in the United States, 65.03. Well, she's on pace to go way under the course record right now. So to not see Emily Sisson in the field is actually probably smart, because
Emily, a great thing.
Emily could be 2 minutes behind her at this point, or not this point, but at the end, and still set the American record.
Right. I think.
How do we say Hiwat's name? We have to all go back and look at our notes to get this right.
Gebra Kadan.
Okay, Deborah Kadan.
Gebra Kadan.
Yeah, or she is Hiwat. Right there at with the men. You were saying the pacing?
Yeah, this will be interesting to see if she can hold this together. It's very aggressive, but we're seeing way more women just take really aggressive approaches and hold it together late. So wouldn't be totally surprising. We've seen it happen. We've seen some pretty outrageous first half splits of marathons. The half marathon's getting quicker and quicker. So, you know, she's doing a lot on her own right now, and we'll see if Emily can close up the gap over the second half.
During your career, what's the biggest change you've seen as a female runner?
I mean, opportunities are just way more common. There's way more people racing longer careers. I think that's, you know, definitely been a change. The club programs have been huge for women, just getting more chances to develop and improve at their own pace. It's not right out of college. You have a year or two to make it or head on into the workforce. We have a longer time to develop, which is, I think, paying off, and we're seeing it with the times getting quicker and records dropping every year.
And to see 37-year-old women setting records,
right.
You know, it's awesome that there's a lot of longevity in the running career.
I would mention, just for the purpose of discussion, as we look at Hiwat Gebra Kadan setting that blistering pace, Des, she shows up with a heck of a resume. This is not a rabbit. This is not a stunt on her part. I think she's sending a message early to this elite field that she means business. She has wins under her belt on the international stage. What about that pace? What do you think she's trying to accomplish? Is she trying to test the field this early, or has she simply found a pace that she's comfortable with?
She's looking for Houston magic. She heard that this course is fast. She said, let's go. She's 107.22 is her personal best, so this is going to be a massive chunk of time off if she can hold this thing together. But this is the right course for it. This is the time of year to take a big chance. Why not?
I think the marathon needs to coin that phrase. She's looking for Houston magic.
Yeah.
she must know she can do this. This isn't just a little bit fast. A little bit fast for her would be 66 flat. You know, she's running 64.30. I mean, she's way under that pace. So she may blow up, but I don't think so.
Yeah. You know? She looks in fine form. To the novice like myself.
I mean, it's just a complete contrast between what she's doing and what the guys are doing. I mean, in the guys' race, the equivalent would be somebody who's trying to run like, 59 flat. Something incredible, 58.45, and they're not doing that. They just got this. This is going to be a tale of two different things. She's either going to hold on and win easily, or she's going to be caught by Sisson and Dominique Scott and a few others. The men's race is just, they're different people are leading. They're trying to break people, trying to get this pack to fall apart a little bit. Like Mance thought he had the lead, then it was taken over again by Kiptoo. So they're going to see, and then Zuhair Talbi still in the hunt for this thing, and none of those guys in the front are even the favorites. That's what's so funny. You're looking at, I don't see, I mean, the guys that were listed as running, who have run under 60 minutes, El Arabe, Katada, Lul, those guys aren't pushing the pace yet or at all.
That's what we love about sports. Anything can happen, right?
That's why they run the races.
Exactly, yeah. You go into it with some expectations.
Jim Estes is the elite coordinator here, and he's sort of put together this recipe, and we're trying to figure it out at this point. Every race has something very interesting going on. Eventually we'll see the marathons and see how they're going. And apparently in the men's marathon, he's hitting the pace a little bit. He's got the Rabbit had a little bit of a lead, but there's a couple guys that are strung out behind him.
Well, it's fascinating to watch this field kind of take shape here. I'm fascinated by Hiwat Gebrekadan just sending that message to an elite field here. It's remarkable stuff. She looks awfully comfortable doing it.
You named that multisyllabic name perfectly, Greg. I'm very
impressed. As far as we know. I promise you that I'm doing my best.
Of course, her cousins may be calling us later,
correct.
Right?
I consulted with all of the experts, but just know this. I am impressed with her. She is remarkable. Gina, you've mentioned it so many times. The run for a reason really defines this event. 27,000 strong, and many of those run for a special reason. We've seen people, holding hands with their guides, which is remarkable, on down the list. Bob Slovak, that wonderful story, running for his mom who he lost. There are countless great stories. We'd love to share one now. For many, this marathon is a family affair. Conroe's Harrison Beckett running for the first time today, but he had great trainers that include his sister and his mom.
My name's Catherine Bequette, and I've run 25 marathons.
My name is Harrison Bequette. My mother, Catherine Bequette, is a superhero.
I've done 15 Houston marathons, and this will be my 16th Houston marathon.
And my sister, Allison Bequette, is about 3 years older than me, and that's a superhero sidekick.
My mom had been running marathons for several years, but we did it together, and I was hooked ever since.
I love running with my daughter. We've run 10 Houston marathons together.
It's become a special girls' weekend to do every year, so it was really my mom who inspired me to do that after college, and I've loved every year since with her doing it.
I think I started running more once I was married, and then I had children, and it seemed like that was also a nice outlet to just take a break and run, and so I've been running a while, I guess. I'm pretty old.
I was there as a supporter, and they were there, crushing goals.
We have so many special memories that we create through miles 1 through 26.2. You need someone there to partner with you, and I'm so grateful that She is that partner to me, and I really couldn't do a marathon without her.
Race day is January 15th, which is my mother's birthday. When I found out it was on her birthday this year, I thought, what better opportunity to get together with my sister and accomplish a goal that I'd never accomplished.
For this to happen on my birthday, the marathon, having both my children run with me, Harrison for his first marathon is just absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited.
Training's been good because I have two veteran runners that can give me advice. They'll probably smoke me.
We all get the same medal, and it's about that time together and the memories made. So we will finish arm in arm together, just as my mom have done previously.
My mother taught me that in the struggle is where you find your true joy. I wouldn't call myself a runner until I cross that finish line, and I can at least say that I've run a marathon with my mom, and that's what I intend to do.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
How can we remove a brain tumor that's considered inoperable? I believe there has to be a way. At Houston Methodist, we're using virtual reality mapping, 3D navigation, and real-time surgical imaging to achieve what was once impossible. Because accepting inoperable for my patients isn't something I'm prepared to do.
That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
No matter how big or small you are, if you're willing to put in the work, you can get this done.
It's within you. Just go and find it.
Get off the couch and do it.
2024 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
Sign up.
Take the plunge. Do it. Start slow, but go.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
No excuses, Houston!
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
Facing a fentanyl crisis.
Most people don't have an idea how bad this is.
We're going to tell you what's being done in Galveston County, from billboards,
fentanyl kills, Narcan saves lives,
to a vending machine in a pharmacy filled with Narcan. Monday after the game.
And welcome back to our coverage of the 51st Chevron Houston Marathon and Aramco Half Marathon. You're looking at the pace camera of the Half Marathon elite runners. We are keeping an eye on this packed group of men there at the front of the group of runners. And we are on pace for some record-breaking times in the women's race in particular, and we'll get to that coming up in just a moment. But right now, we have a super-duper special guest.
Gina Gaston, we talk about this world-class field and world-class events in our great city. It doesn't happen without commitment and vision from our leadership. That certainly includes our great mayor, Sylvester Turner. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. You and I talking off camera. camera, we might set records, attendance, a lot of things sold out, economic impact, all these things. It's another great year at the Chevron Houston Marathon.
What a way to start off 2023.
For sure.
Everything will be bigger and better, and the Chevron Houston Marathon is setting the pace. You know, I mean, almost everything is sold out. Hotels are very happy. Restaurants are happy. The attendance, I mean, it's, what, 47 countries represented in this deal, every single state in the union. And then if you can combine that with the economic impact to this city, more than $51 million.
It's stellar. You know, we were talking about you behind your back this morning. I don't know if your ears were burning.
Oh, y'all asked me whether or not I was running?
No, but what we were saying was how much we can see you genuinely enjoy these big events that bring our community together. And it's one, I mean, I know you're the mayor and you kind of have to do this. Yeah. It's another to really personally enjoy it. Can you tell us a little bit about why you enjoy it so much?
Look, number one, I'm a native Houstonian.
Yeah.
I grew up in this city. And to see how this city has developed, I mean, we are now known as a big event city. And I'm not just talking about on the second or third level. I mean, at the top tier. You know, New York, LA, Atlanta, none of those cities can say that they produce or put on big events better than this city. And because of that, you've got the Chevron Marathon, 27,000 runners. You got the NCAA Final Four coming to the city. The World Cup is coming to the city. The college championship.
Yeah, we just got that.
Will be here in 24. So, you know, to see how the city has evolved, and we are a global, international city, and it's reflective right here in the Chevron Houston Marathon.
Can I back up some of what you're saying? I've covered the National Football League since the mid-'90s. I had someone from the NFL pull me aside when we hosted the Super Bowl, and he said this to me: you guys are setting a new standard.
Yeah.
You have taken everything that's great about all the other Super Bowls, and you have brought it to one place. It takes so much commitment to get that done. One of the great things about being a world-class city, Mr. Mayor, is the charitable component. $35 million generated since the mid-'90s from this event alone. It defines us as a giving city.
It does, and then what it does is that it pulls everybody together. I think one of the key reasons why we put on big events well is because it's a very collaborative approach. There are no silos. Law enforcement, police, fire, they're working. The municipal department, our nonprofits are working. Volunteers, I mean, thousands of volunteers. But everybody pulls together to make it happen, and that has worked well in almost everything that we do in this city.
I want to point out, while you were talking, the adaptive athlete just finished the finish line, so we had our first finisher today.
Oh, wow.
As you were speaking. I know that events like this also don't happen with obviously great group of people that you work with with the city, and also very committed corporate sponsors. And we've had long-time sponsors of this event.
Well, look, I have to really give a strong shout out to Chevron. Chevron has been a steady, generous partner to this city. And quite frankly, they are the only major corporation in the energy sector that has never left downtown Houston. And they, instead of laying off, let's say, people, Chevron has been bringing people from other parts of the country to the city of Houston. So Chevron, huge shout out to them. Aramco, the sponsor of the half marathon, has been here every single year. Okay, and not only participating with the run, but in terms of participating with events and helping our schools, our building houses right here in the city of Houston, they have done and continue to do so much more. So we have some incredible sponsors. Those are just two. But let me tell you, the list is very, very long. So I want to thank our corporate business community for stepping up in a very, very major way.
Well, Mr. Mayor, it is always so great to see you.
It's my finale. This will be the last time.
We weren't going to say anything. But we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you.
But what a finale, and what a representative you have been for our great city on the world stage. You mentioned all those great events. It does not happen without you, and we thank you so much.
Well, maybe I would love to have a COVID extension.
Like another year of NCAA eligibility.
We just rewrote history over here. Man,
Thank you.
It's great to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Happy birthday, Gene.
Thank you. 50 years old. I didn't even go for 40. I just went for 50. Okay, well, let's get an update on this on the races, John.
All right, everything's kind of gone crazy. Hiwat, the leader of the women's half, is on pace to run 65:15. She's fading a little bit, but that's still phenomenal.
Put that in perspective for people.
It would be just off the fastest. It might be the second fastest time ever run in the United States.
Oh, right.
Compared to the time last year.
Okay.
Emily Sisson, we mentioned earlier, she's on 66 flat pace. That would be an American record by over a minute if she holds it.
Oh, my goodness.
The men's marathon is 2:08 pace with a big pack. In the women's marathon, very interesting. Everything was about Nia, the Japanese runner, trying to get her the national record. But Dekibo is on sub 2:17 pace. She's just absolutely flying out there by herself. I mean, it's just tremendous.
And where's Dekibo from?
She's from Ethiopia.
Okay.
She's a 24-year-old from Ethiopia who's her PR is 2:26, and she's on pace to go 10 minutes faster than that right now. So that's going to be interesting. The half, I think, is getting also interesting. They're about to go around Mecum Fountain, and then they're going to have that tailwind. So it's interesting to see if they'll pick it up. The men's half's running about 61:30 type pace, but they've been picking it up. You could see earlier they were like they're single file. They're trying to get right behind Leo Gabriel-Selesi. He's leading the whole thing. Because he's going so fast, they're trying to stay with him and get in his draft, if you will. Because they're starting to go, they just went around the fountain. They're starting to come straight back there. If they have a wind at all, it should be a tailwind at this point.
Love that shot with Mecum Fountain behind them there in our illustrious museum district.
If you're talking about a record run in this elite field, you got to bring energy. And nobody brings the energy quite like Samika Knight. She joins us live from the course. Samika, good morning there at Kirby and Bissonnette. Look at you with that big smile on your face.
So cute.
Oh, I am so excited. Have I ever told you guys I love the Chevron Houston Marathon? Oh, okay. And I also love being here at Bissonnette and Kirby because when you talk about energy, oh my goodness. I need to say this real quick. The runners are coming through, and family, friends, everybody out here to cheer them on this morning. They're kind of quiet, maybe a little TV shy right now, but I have to tell you, because we have all these runners, we have so many people out here who are out here cheering people on for a reason. Let me introduce you to somebody real quick. This is Rachel.
Hi.
Good morning, Rachel, and you're here because?
I'm here for Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy, and so we have runners out here raising money for research for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is what my son Joel has, and so they're just not running just to run. They're running for a reason so we can find a cure for muscular dystrophy.
Hey, Joel.
Hello.
Hello, Joel is a little camera shy. Hey, and I also found an elf. Buddy's here, guys.
Hello there.
You're also running for a reason, or
yes.
you have been running for a reason. This time you're cheering.
Yes, I've been running for PPMD for about 18 years now, and I come out and cheer Houston, and I run other races around the country.
Okay, and it was pretty cold earlier today, and you had on tights and I'm sorry, you are wearing tights though.
Yes, I am.
Okay, okay. And what is your real name?
I'm Dave.
Dave?
Yes.
Last name?
Friedman.
Dave Friedman. And explain, why did you decide to, come as Buddy?
It's fun for the runners. Get some entertainment on the course, see something to make them smile. Got to push through a bunch of miles, and it's always nice to see something funny out on the course.
Okay, lastly, what does your sign say?
It says, "You smell like beef and cheese."
I love that. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, hey, I'm going to take you guys this way if you can. Come. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Who are you cheering on?
Eric! Go Eric! Go Cougs!
Go Eric and go Cougs. Okay, just turn for a second. You're cheering on?
Eric.
Eric, you're cheering on Eric too. Okay, I'm going to take you back this way. I'm sorry, I'm running with the good morning, everybody. You guys cheering on? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, guys, hey, I found a family. I have done the marathon, I think, for like maybe 10 years or so, and I'm so glad to see you guys again. Hi, good morning, Samika. Good morning. Good morning. You guys are cheering on. Hi, Lovey. Hi. You look great. You're cheering on.
My daughter.
Your daughter.
Where'd she go? My sister was sitting right here.
Oh, there she is. Oh, yes. You're cheering on.
My sister.
Your sister, her name?
Allison Easton, and her sister-in-law, Kim Easton.
Okay, and you guys are tracking them too?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
How much time do we have, Uncle Matt?
Uncle Matt. How much time do we have? Uncle Matt.
We got a little while.
Andy, This is Andy. Okay, but we're tracking them though. So the whole family is out here. You guys are pretty excited, usually, always.
Yes. We come out every year. It's a really fun event.
Okay, listen. I have so much to show you guys out here. You got to come back to me because down here we have a crab, a shark, and a squid that I need to talk to you guys about. But I'm telling you, the excitement is building here at Kirby and Bissonnette. Sending it back to you guys.
Coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon is sponsored by the Houston Marathon Committee. Registration for the 2024 race opens today at 4 p.m.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
No matter how big or small you are, if you're willing to put in the work, you can get this done.
It's within you. Just go and find it.
Get off the couch and do it.
2024 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
Sign up.
Take the plunge. Do it.
Start slow, but go.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
No excuses, Houston!
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
Welcome back to our live race coverage. The Chevron Houston Marathon, the Aramco Half Marathon. We need to get to a quick race update because this is rapidly unfolding at record pace. John, where are we with both the half marathon on the men's side and the women's side?
The half marathon on the men's side is just, they were going a pace, you mentioned, slower than 61. They've gotten serious. They're running 432, 431s. They're hammering right now. That's why it's spreading out. Not because people are getting tired. They're sustaining in the back. They're just getting so fast in the front. Over here, Maiden is actually going on a great pace, but she's fading a little bit. And somewhere back there might be Emily Sisson. Emily Sisson is on pace to set an American record by possibly up to a minute. She holds the record now at 67:11, and she could run a minute or so faster than that. So the way it looks like it's happening, probably Hiwat won't get caught, but it's possible.
Des, what jumps out at you as you watch both of these races unfold?
Yeah, you can't see it here. Hiwat is obviously on her own. She has a couple of men here and there to work with. Behind her.
And just so we're clear for the viewer at home, if they're just tuning in the black on the right-hand side of your screen, that's Hiwat. Okay.
That's correct. And behind her, you can't see them on screen, but Jessica Judd, who was 5th here last year, and Emily Sisson are in a little group together. They're working together, so they have that advantage to be able to take turns and keep their eyes up and sort of mark her and slowly close that gap down. So it's going to be interesting to see if she's running afraid. Can she keep forging on, or are they going to have the advantage of working together and just chewing into that lead that she's got right now?
If I could flesh out that name, Emily Sisson, just a bit for our viewers who may not be familiar. We had records set here in Houston in the marathon and the half marathon last year on the American side. It made worldwide news. Emily Sisson went out later in the year and broke both of those records. She came here fully confident that she could do something like that. So when John talks about her perhaps setting a new American record, she showed up with that in mind. Her results recently have been phenomenal. She is a very confident runner with the resume to back that up, John.
Absolutely. The last year, you can't have a better year than setting the half marathon national record in marathon record. Her marathon record predicts a 66:07 using the charts that you can find online. So she's actually running at the pace I think she was expected to run.
So
now,
we all, I'm sorry, John.
I was going to mention the men's here, Wesley Kiptoo, Iowa State grad, is taking the lead over from Leo Gabriselesi, and they're pulling away from everybody at this point. They had to, at some point earlier, they started talking to each other. They were like, you know, Leo was doing all the work, and he's like, Sam, you got to get up here. But now they're really pushing the pace, and they're pulling away from a really good field.
Des, when runners talk to each other, do they really talk to each other, or is it a
Yeah, you can see him motioning right now. He wants a little bit of help here. He says, hey, I'm doing a lot of work. Let's work together and pull away from these guys, and then we can race in. But I think we got to notice here, Kiptoo, the gloves are off. This guy's famous for wearing gloves indoors, having them on all the time. He's thrown them down. He said, let's go, let's get racing. And he wants to break this thing open and not have to get a sprint finish. But he would also like a little help. He's motioning, hey, let's. But it could be that he just feels better, and, you know, the man behind him is just content to sit and say, hey, you do the work for me. I'm not going to push. I'm going to wait until the last second possible. He might be just hanging on at this moment.
Didn't know that running was collaborative.
That's right.
It has to be if you're going to run at this pace. Bob Slovak standing by. He joins us live again from River Oaks. Bob?
Oh, yeah. So it is getting fun down here. Here, Bob. That's just a little part of it right now. Who are you down here cheering for today?
The Andersons, Neil, Marianne, Jerry Joe. We got the neighbors, and this is a tradition. We're just keeping it going.
And he's definitely the loudest fan down here, man. He's got it going on. What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew.
We're the Halls.
The Halls. Yeah. So you got a lot of people you're cheering on.
Yeah. We started with an Ironman, and we just continued the tradition of decking out and making people feel encouraged. So we love it.
Yeah, I love it too. Is there bubbles always here?
Bubbles are new. Bubbles are new this year. We've come out as a cactus, as a Kool-Aid man. We just have different. Now we have a unicorn, a pinata. It's different every year.
Let me see those bubbles again. Come on. All right, it is getting festive and fun down here in River Oaks. Back to you guys.
Oh, so much fun to see these families out here having such a good time on the streets of Houston, cheering on their loved ones. A lot of people are doing life-saving work just training for this. And there's another adaptive athlete just crossed the finish line there that we saw on the full screen. But these guys are speeding it up, it looks like here, John.
Yeah, they're making the turn onto Allen Parkway, so they're going to be able to sense the finish line. The downtown's going to be right in their sights, and they're going to start hammered in. I want to mention the women's marathon. Nia is catching Dikibo. Dikibo ran a 5:16 mile, and Nia is catching her.
Okay, let's tell people at home who Nia is.
Nia is the Japanese. She's from Japan. She set the Japanese national record here 2 years ago in the half, 66:38. By the way, en route to that, she set the national road record in the 10K and the 20K. So today she may be setting not only the national record in the marathon, she might get the 25K and the 30K along the way.
And when we had our pre-marathon meeting, we were eyeing her. We knew that she could come in here and do something.
Well, and we also thought nobody could run with her. We figured it'd be a one-woman race, and she's sitting there spending a big chunk of this race, the first 8-10 miles, just trying to catch up to someone ahead. And like I said, Dikibo ran a 5:16 mile, and Nia's catching her. So that's just incredible. To give you an idea, so a 5:16 mile projects out to be at under 2:18. I mean, it's right at 2:18 flat pace. She's shooting around 2:19.12, so she's well under that pace right now. And here we finally see the men's marathon. It still is strung out. They'll get to water stations, break up a little bit, then they all come back together. And Barrios is just clicking off the pace he's supposed to. This is kind of normal. It won't get exciting for a little bit. No one's going to make an effort. And then the women's side, that's
neat. Yes, I see two women together.
Yep. Yeah. Nia's caught her. Nia has a rabbit. It's one of her training partners, Nita, and he's been trying to hit exactly that 2:19 pace was the goal. But apparently they're even under that.
Have you run against either of these two women before?
I have not. I've watched and admired their careers. I think Nia's half marathon here had to give her a ton of confidence. She's going to know the area, be familiar with what she's running over. But I mean, these early numbers are just surprising. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and Nia's got the advantage of having her pacer being a little bit more calculated and composed here, and I think that's going to play out well over the second half for her.
Yeah, there she is now and taking the lead.
Yeah, Gina, you talked about those great feelings from Houston. She spoke at some length about that in the pre-race press conference on Friday. She loves this place and has a lot of confidence, as Des mentioned. She showed up expecting a good result, and it's great to see her off to such a wonderful start. And we also mentioned Allen Parkway. It was really interesting to me that everyone in this field knows exactly what Allen Parkway is. And as John mentioned, when you make that
beginning
turn,
of the end.
it is the beginning of the end. And in the men's half, you could see them begin, in my eye at least, begin to pick up the pace. So on the left of the screen there, our two-man duel for the half marathon title, the Aramco half marathon. They understand exactly where they are, and we are closing in, John, what are we, maybe 8 minutes, 7 minutes away from the finish line here? Of the half?
About 6 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, they made that turn and they ran a 4:30 mile, which is their fastest mile split of the day.
Oh,
so
wow.
so they are going to pull away from everybody. What's interesting about Allen Parkway, the Allen Parkway half marathon is flat. You turn and you don't do those. Allen Parkway in the marathon is brutal. You have two underpasses that you've got to drive up. One of them's about a half a mile long.
We've just been told that the top two runners in the half have separated from the pack by about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get caught. It's going to be a very interesting finish now. They collaborated a little bit. I'd be curious to see what Leo does here in the white. If he just sits behind him, it looks up. Here they go.
Yeah, I love that aerial shot that we have there from.
Kiptoo doesn't want to lead anymore. And so, but Leo didn't take it. So now they're going to start jockeying a little bit. This could open the door for the other guys to catch back up because they're not going to play games.
Right.
They're just going to hammer straight in.
A little bit of gamesmanship here could cost them, and these guys in the back. I mean, 10 seconds looks like an eternity there, but if they slow up just enough, these two can work together and kind of close it up. I think they're going to have a big enough lead, but it depends if someone wants to be aggressive or if they are both waiting for the other person to make their move.
I think this is one of the funniest dilemmas in all racing. Right. Is like, okay, if I go now and really push it, it may cost me the win. Or if I don't go now and push it, I may be 5th place. So it's a mental dilemma, and like Gandhi was talking about in the press conference yesterday, is how do you feel? Do I feel confident enough to do this? Do I feel confident to make a move? And Kiptoo's, he's looking at him. He's trying to figure out. I don't
spending a lot of energy looking at the other guy.
And I think he's going to try to sit as long as possible.
He just looks back at the rest of the crowd to see where the rest of the crowd is.
He wants to make one move, the big move, and before that, it's just hurry up and wait, And so when he makes it, he wants to separate and break him and, just end his confidence. So they're kind of jockeying around right now and not committed to making that move just yet.
Yeah, they're just now entering downtown, so they'll be coming behind us, and we'll probably see them in about 2 to 3 minutes, probably 3 to 4 minutes. So they got to shoot through all of this behind us in the building. It's going to be a fascinating last mile or so.
To kind of wrap up everything you guys are talking about, I love the looks over both shoulders. So what is my nearest competitor doing over this shoulder? And then, as you mentioned, Des, one more look over the left shoulder to make sure that lead or the second pack isn't closing ground.
What were you going to say, John?
I thought it maybe Gabriel Celeste was making a move up a little bit of a hill. This is a little bit of a hill coming into downtown.
Yeah.
I thought that would be a bold place to make the move, but did he do it? They're just side by side now.
Yeah, they're side by side.
So this. I think they're really going to hammer this home because I don't think they really, especially Leo. Leo's one of the great runners of all time. He's run 2:04 in the marathon like 5 times.
Wow.
He's run 9 marathons. His worst one's 2:07. Okay. He's incredible. So I'm guessing he's feeling pretty good. But Kiptoo's new at all this. He was a great 10K runner at Iowa State, and this is moving up in distance. He's only run 1/2. It was 61:26, which doesn't sound great, but it was at Pittsburgh, which is the complete opposite of this. It's hilly as can be. Everything's hammered. So he's an unknown in some regard, but Gabriel Celeste's known as I'm going to go and make a prediction and say that Gabriel Celeste's going to.
I was just about to ask you guys. So what's your prediction?
I'm going with Gabriel Celeste.
I am as well. I think that just the experience and knowing when to make the move and how to make the move and how to break someone is going to play out here. And Kiptoo's new at this. He's looking a little uncomfortable. He's not super confident right now.
Yeah. He's not just running his race. Right. He keeps trying to worry about everybody else's race.
I think he's letting Kiptoo do the wondering about what if I slow down too much? Maybe these guys behind us catch us or not. And Gabriel Selesi's like, I'm going to outkick everybody. And I think he'll actually put a move here, probably a minute out, and I'm going to make a prediction he'll win by about 10 or 12 seconds.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come to the line.
Okay.
Meanwhile, on the right, Hiwat just continues to pound away on the women's side. Remarkable what she has done to separate herself from a really strong field. Des, do we expect a move from Emily Sisson and the rest of that second pack?
I think she's hurting too. I think they're both bleeding just a little bit of time. And so I think at this point, Sisson's probably hanging on, trying to think about that American record, worried about her own time, her own race. And Hiwat in front is doing the same thing. They're both kind of just losing a little bit of time. But Hiwat has a 30-second lead over Sisson right now. So it doesn't seem like it's going to fall apart. She does keep looking back. You can tell she's nervous. She knows she went a little too deep too soon. And now she's in that phase of like, I have to hang on and just get to that finish line.
We want to remind viewers, Sisson's going for the American record.
Yep.
And Hiwat is going for the course win.
Des, on the men's side, are we beginning to see the quote-unquote sprint to the finish here?
It's definitely looking like that. You can see them stretching out a bit, and there's the group behind them that's just trying to close as hard as they can.
The group behind looks like they're catching up a little bit.
But you can see it in their arms. They're dropping down. The strides opening up. They're shoulder to shoulder. It's going to be all the way down to the finish line here.
I think my 10-second prediction is going to be wrong.
Yeah, and I see less looking back. I think now it's just I better focus on my business.
Yeah, there's not enough time to get caught.
Okay, look at that.
Kip 2 has surged a bit.
I'm still going with Gabriel Selesi. Yeah, see, Gabriel Selesi's making sure he's feeling Kip 2 out a little bit. He's looking over his shoulder. It should be passing us very soon.
I feel like I want to tell Kip 2, stop looking back. Just run your race.
That looks like the move.
Here they come behind us right now.
They got about 100 meters when they pass us.
He's smiling. Oh, no,
he's not.
Grimacing. He's grimacing. I thought that was a smile, but when I saw it in person, it was a grimace. Yeah.
I feel like Peyton Manning. I went out on a limb, and it may come back and bite me.
It's okay.
This is a sprint.
Look at that.
And when we say sprint to the finish line.
Oh, my gosh, look at that.
Kip 2.
What a run. He's trying to block him off, from passing him.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh. Crazy. You guys, well, you called it. You called the right winner.
I thought it would be an easier win than that for him.
Kip 2 gave him all he had.
1 hour, 34 seconds officially.
1 hour, 34 seconds is the official time by the announcer.
John, put that time in perspective for us.
That falls on. It's talking about the great time or the super great time or the really, really good time. That's in the really, really good time. And the reason it was slower than really, really great was the beginning. They didn't get a good start. They were running 440s at the beginning, but they made it up for it at the end. They were on projected to go mid 61s. They're a minute faster than what the pace they were doing. So it's a great time. And when you look at how it was done, it's a phenomenally great time.
I could see where Kip 2 was trying to kind of squeeze him out there on the side, but so what does the runner do to navigate around that?
Yeah, shoulder to shoulder, that's racing, and he's expecting that. I think he threw everything at that, and he looked a little bit uncomfortable having to lead for so long, and you could tell he wanted a little bit of help. I think with maturity, I think he makes a better move later and just separates that, and doesn't leave it to chance late. I think Kip 2's young at this.
Yes, I was going to say Kip 2 just made it like a statement. I'm here and I'm serious. It's going to be really good.
Well, it was a fun race to watch. They gave us a good race. And now we get to wait to see the female winner of the race. We're keeping our eye on that race now for the half marathon.
We got a very quick look at the look on Wesley Kip 2's face at the finish line. He almost looked around like, did I win? That's how close it was. Yeah. I'm not so sure for a moment that he didn't think that he had won that race.
Was that for... He wants... She's slowing down a little bit. She's still projected to go to 66.16, but she's running slow, but she still ran a 5:14 last mile.
Tell me again what country Hiwat is from?
She's Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, okay.
Yeah.
And there she is going, coming into downtown there.
Yeah, I keep looking back for Emily Sisson. I don't think she's there. But she's running great. Who's really running, you mentioned Jessica Warner-Judd. She ran her first half here last year, went 67.52. She's running way faster than that. She's has made, got this great history of making the world championships in the 800, the 1500, the 5K, the 10K. This is like a new step up for her. This is a massive improvement for her.
Yeah, last year's race I felt like was really a springboard for her season. So I'm sure she's looking at that blueprint for the year and goes, okay, let's hit it hard in Houston and then get on the track and run really well in the 5 and the 10. She's going to use that strength for the rest of the year. So it's big improvement here. I think we'll see big jumps on the track as well.
Is it months or years changing from one distance to another, like going from the half to the marathon?
It's a easing into, but some people can do it really quickly. I think it's a thing you want to get to, and as you age as an athlete, you want to tap out your speed in the 5, the 10, the half, and then when you are feeling flat there, you go up to the marathon.
And I'll do the old back in my day thing. Back in my day, like the 90s when I was running, halves weren't a thing. I mean, there wasn't a half marathon as part of this marathon. That was a new thing. Halves are now the thing. But it was something that if you went from 10K to marathon back in the old days. Now you get a little bit of a transition.
Which means a lot more athletes can be brought in.
Right. I think it's a great race, just, as you can tell. We just got word that Emily Sisson is on pace to set the American record. She's going to break by probably about 15 seconds. It won't be a huge break, but it'll be a break if she continues to do what she's doing right now.
That would be back-to-back years of that that record being set.
And I believe this will be the 4th time it's been set here. Molly Huddle ran 67.25, and then Sarah Hall, somebody else did it. So Sarah Hall said it last year at 67.15. This will be at least the 3rd.
Stretch now, right at the top of the screen.
There we go. American records in
Des, you're seeing the top of the screen, the women.
Right at the top of the screen, you can see them just getting onto the home stretch, and Hewat's tucked in right behind a few of the men there. She's just grinding for home.
Who's that ponytail going there?
Yeah, that's Sisson. This is I don't. We're about to see him pass this, and we'll see how close that is for real.
That wasn't eloquently stated. Who's that ponytail going there? But you knew what I meant.
Yep, and she's picking up the pace.
And you can see the next competitor right behind her. So I think it's going Hewat, who's hoping to hang on, Emily, who's trying to catch her, and then Jessica Warner-Judd, who's about to have a run of her life right now. For someone that's made multiple Olympic teams in multiple events and this is a big day. She's from Great Britain, by the way. She's a British athlete. Jessica is.
Checking that watch as she makes those final strides towards the finish line.
What's interesting is she's not turning around. She just aimed.
She has not at all in this race. She's just run her own race the whole
Early on,
race.
she was looking back. But now she's like, if I'm going to, it doesn't make a difference. I'm going as fast as I can go.
I think she was looking at the men.
Yeah, that's true. If someone catches her right now, she's like, I don't think she can make a move. She's just like, I'm going all out.
Yeah.
This is it. I mean, it's a big gap, so there's no way. I think we're going to see her.
Yeah, she should be coming near us pretty soon.
She may have already passed us.
And again, we're at Lamar and LeBranch.
Oh yeah, she's already passed us.
She's making the final turn.
Okay.
And here's Sisson behind us. Yeah, she's going to win by quite a bit.
Yep. And there she comes.
Massive run for her. Came in with a 1:07.22 personal best.
And no pacer. And really didn't use the guys out there very much. That was kind of like, I'm alone, I'm going. It was a great effort.
So she just took almost a minute off of her personal best.
Right.
And that is a significant chunk. And there you get a look at Emily Sisson.
And this should be...
Will she make the record?
She's crushing it, absolutely.
Set the record by about, she'd run by about 15 seconds.
Wow, okay. 20 seconds faster than her own personal best.
1:06.52.
So just to recap, Emily Sisson broke both records on the American side. Marathon, half marathon. Last year, she shows up in Houston and has broken another record, a new American record in the half marathon. What a remarkable accomplishment. She has this remarkable attitude that goes with it, Des. She told us on Friday, I finally accepted that a lot of times when I race, it's not going to go my way. But you know what? If I keep training and I keep showing up, sometimes it's going to go my way. And she said it with such a big smile on her face, this joy that she's discovered in this sport. Put in perspective to what she's doing to these American records, one after another. She just continues to break them.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, she is one of the best of all times. And, you know, I think she went to the trials in Atlanta and thought she was going to make that team and just had a disappointing day. I think after that, it was the heartbreak. When she regrouped, she said, I'm just going to throw myself into these races, not overthink it, compete. And she's really found her groove. And I think it's on these flat, fast courses. They just suit her well. They suit her stride well and her mentality well. So we saw that, you know, in Chicago, the half marathon she said last year, and then she hasn't announced where, but she said she is getting ready for a spring marathon, so would not be surprised to again see that record fall and just have her attack them one after another and just set the bar for American runners.
We have Adam Winkler down at the finish line, and Adam, I think you got a winner there with you, huh?
I absolutely do, and just to be clear, this is the only time you will find me at a finish line of any sort of high-level distance event. I'm pleased to be joined by Lul Gebrselassie Alame, a 30-year-old from Ethiopia. He is our champion of the Aramco Half Marathon. The time 1 hour and 34 hundredths of a second. We got to ask you about that finish, Lul. It was exciting for us. What was it like for you coming down that home stretch?
Thank you very much. Thank you to Houston runner organizer invite to me. I am happy today winner to Houston Half Marathon. I am very, very happy. I am very, very to all organizer, all American people. I am happy. Thank you very much. Maybe next year inviting this organizer, I coming to marathon.
We love the smile. We also love the kick to the finish. Lul, this is your first half marathon in just about 2 years. How did it feel out there?
Yes, I have 100% preparation in marathon. I have next 3 months after is London Marathon, but now is incoming in this Houston Half Marathon. I am very, very happy to next race. This big opportunity for me and my country. In the next, I think, is championship. I hope this is selection to an Ethiopian Federation. I am too happy to the winner this race.
And we talk about you had second place in the full marathons last year in London and Rotterdam. How did those near misses prepare you for this? There's nobody, you're not in second place today, you're in first place, Lul.
This is a good question, but this is Ethiopia, you know, in strong athlete up in Ethiopia, but is Rotterdam and many marathon winner and good top 3. Now is this race is the first one. The next is my race and my next race is very good opportunity for me and my endurance and the speed. I try and I looking all athlete, but is very I'm happy today.
We saw the endurance, we saw the speed. First place, Lul. Going to bring in Amar Mubarak from Aramco. Going to present you with the belt buckle for winning our 2023 Aramco Houston Half Marathon. Lul Gebrselassie Alame out of Ethiopia, y'all. He is our champion of the Aramco Half Marathon.
I will forever be impressed with his race and the fact that he is not out of breath as he gives that interview so shortly after crossing the finish line. We're going to take a quick break. Our coverage continues after this.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
No matter how big or small you are, if you're willing to put in the work, you can get this done.
It's within you. Just go and find it.
Get off the couch and do it.
2024 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
Sign up.
Take the plunge. Do it.
Start slow, but go.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
No excuses, Houston!
From planning your day to preparing for the storm, ABC 13's AccuWeather team has the most experienced meteorologists. The storm system continued to bring us these waves. Trust the team that gives you more details more often.
We're still calling for 2 to 4 inches of rain widespread.
And is Houston's certified most accurate.
This is going to be a rough night along the upper Texas coastline.
Wind gust over 40 miles per hour.
ABC 13's AccuWeather team on Eyewitness News, Houston's severe weather leader.
We're Houston's news leader everywhere you watch us. #1 in the mornings, #1 in the evenings, and the #1 Houston TV website and the #1 Houston News app. Thank you for making ABC 13 Houston's news leader.
Welcome back to our live coverage on ABC 13, the Chevron Houston Marathon. We start with a great look at that elite field in the marathon beginning to take shape. The lead runners beginning to assert themselves, and we'll obviously update you. And we will start with our winner from the Aramco Half Marathon on the women's side. She is standing by live with our own Adam Winkler.
Greg, we're going to pivot just a little bit. We will talk to our winner, Hiwat, in just one moment. But right now we are joined by the newest American record holder. She was the old American record holder, but she breaks it again. Photojournalist Rudy Villarreal, can we see if we can zoom in on that clock right there? I think they're changing up. Emily, you were so fast, they don't even have the clock set up yet. Emily Sisson breaks her own American record by, 19 seconds? I feel like this is a terrible question to ask, but I got to ask you, you were the record holder. You are still the record holder. What are you feeling now, the pride, and also after the half marathon?
I'm really excited about it. I really wanted to break 67 minutes, and I'm happy I did. I actually think I could have run a little bit more evenly, so I'm already hoping to run another half and even try to run faster. But it was such a great atmosphere out there today. The last few miles I was hurting a bit, but the crowd was just amazing, and so having people cheering for me, that really helped me power through to the finish.
You're the American record holder in the marathon and the half marathon. We know about the reputation of Houston being fast. Did you come here with the goal of breaking your own record? I know you didn't want to stay in the press conference, but was that part of the plan?
It was part of the plan because I wanted to come here and compete and be competitive. I wanted to try to go for the win, but she was just too good today, and I figured if I was competitive, then the time would follow. So my main focus was on competing and then hoping that the time just, was fast at the end of the day.
You've been here before. You almost set the American record when you were here before. If you will, take us through the race a little bit. You talked about how you could feel the crowd. Is that something you will take home with you, the atmosphere and maybe the energy that you felt from our spectators?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, especially the last few miles. I went out a little too fast the first 5K or so the last few miles I was definitely feeling it. So just to be able to draw on this in future races and know you can still be hurting and just hear the crowd around you and help that energize you and finish strong. It's good. Good feedback.
Let's see that beautiful stars and bars. Emily Sisson, she was the American record holder in half marathon. She breaks it today here in the Aramco Houston half marathon. Emily, congratulations. Thank you for being here and thank you for your time. We'll send it back to y'all.
All right, congratulations to her. Thank you, Adam. We are here now on the set with Rania Biltaji, who's Director of Public Affairs for Aramco. We're so glad to have you, and what an exciting day for you guys sponsoring this event for us yet again, and to see a record like that being set. It seems to be becoming a tradition.
It is. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Greg, for having us. Yes, this is our 19th year as title sponsor of the Aramco Houston Half Marathon. We're really excited to be back, to see all of this, all the great athletes running, all of the recreational runners out there as well, and it's just wonderful with the crowds and everyone.
The events like this obviously don't just happen. I know that this is a year-round commitment for you and so many of your team members there at Aramco. Why so important to you to be part of this great event, which takes its place again on the American stage and the world stage?
Well, I mean, you know, for us, it's Houston's been home for almost 50 years. And, you know, for our employees and their families, I mean, obviously we work and live here. So being part of the community, and what better way, really, than being out volunteering, cheering, running, being able to interact face-to-face and connect with the community that we're a part of. I mean, this is what makes it all so worthwhile.
You know, earlier we got a chance to interview Mayor Sylvester Turner, and he talked about not just Aramco's commitment to this event, but also all of the things it does throughout the year in other areas, like in terms of housing and in terms of education. Yes. So if you could talk a little bit about, for people who don't know Houston, who are watching from another community, tell us a little bit about what you think makes our city so special and why you're such a proud, good citizen.
So Houston, obviously, you know, we know that it's an extremely diverse city. You know, the different communities around here really makes it special. Being able to, you know, all come together, work across all these different groups and organizations and help out. I mean, that's what really we love to connect with. And, you know, whether it's people that are passionate about helping animals or about, you know, the environment or otherwise, you know, it's just really great as a community, you know, how diverse it is, and, you know, working all together to make it even better. But I mean, obviously, you know, we heard from the elite athletes the other day at the press conference that this is such a great marathon from how well it's organized. So a shout out to the city of Houston and all the leadership, you know, the Houston Marathon Committee and otherwise, but also the streets and the environment and everything. It's just wonderful.
Well, the partnership with the city and our first responders, police, fire, everyone works seamlessly, and the commitment is fantastic. What kind of pride do you take in the fact that Emily Sisson sets another American record, and it's the Aramco Half Marathon? Everyone around the country who follows racing will know, yet again, another American record falls in the Aramco event.
Well, we've been waiting to see, are we going to have another record broken? And, you know, thank you, Emily, and congratulations for that. Aramco's extremely proud to, you know, sponsor this event and to have another record broken. And congratulations to all the winners and all of those who are running in this event.
Very good. Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
And obviously being back headlining this event.
Thank you.
We have Adam Winkler down at the finish line with, I believe, another winner. Adam?
Absolutely. I am in wonderful company. This is the champion of the women's Aramco Half Marathon, Hiwat Gebrekadan from Ethiopia, the time 1:06:52. Kasim here to help us translate. Hiwat, I'm just going to ask you, it sure didn't look like it was much of a competition from our vantage point. How did you feel, and when did you feel comfortable that this was your race?
በዚህ ሩጫ ብዙም ተወዳዳሪ ያለሽ አይመስልም። ለብቻሽ ነው የተወዳደርሽው፣ ለብቻሽ ነው ያሸነፍሽው። ምን ይመስልሻል ይሄ ሩጫ እንደዚህ አሁን ባሸነፍሽው አካሄድ አሸንፋለሁ ብለሽ የገመትሽበት የታየሽ መቼ ነበር?
ወደዚህ ስመጣ ጥሩ ዝግጅት አድርጌ ስለነበር አሸንፋለሁ ብዬ ነበር የመጣሁት እና ደስ ብሎኛል።
Yeah, when I come here, before I get here, I did a good training. I was very ready. I'm sure, you know, I can come out with this kind of result.
We love the confidence, and I guess it might be, I don't want to say beginner's luck because there was no luck involved, but Hiwat, this is your very first trip to Houston. What was the experience like? I'm sure it helps being a champion your first time, doesn't it?
ኩኒ የሮ ጀልቀባ ሂውስተን ስትመጪ የመጀመሪያ ነው። ሩጫሽ ደግሞ በጣም ለየት ያለ ነው። ያሸነፍሽበት አካሄድም በጣም ለየት ያለ ነው። ያንቺ ልምድ ከዚህ የወሰድሽው ምን ይመስላል?
ከዚህ በፊት ያው ፐርሰናል ፔስ ነው የሮጥኩት። የመጀመሪያ የፈጣን ሰዓቴ ነው እና የተሻለ ዝግጅት ስላደረኩ ሰዓቴን አሻሽላለሁ ብዬ ነበር የመጣሁት እና ፐርሰናል ፔስም ሩጫለሁ እዚህ አሪፍ ኮንዲሽን ስለነበር።
Basically she's saying I did a very good training. I had a very good time. And when I come here, my main goal was to actually improve time, work more on it, and I did my personal best, and I'm happy.
Mission accomplished. And now the other mission we have, we're going to bring in Bander from Aramco. He's going to present you with the belt buckle for winning our women's Aramco Half Marathon. Hiwat Gebrekaran out of Ethiopia with a time 1:06.52. Champion of our 2023 Aramco Women's Houston Half Marathon. We'll send it back to y'all.
Adam, thank you. Such an impressive run. Not only the training and the speed, but the confidence to do it basically by yourself. She is a worthy champion here in Houston. Much more action as the race continues to unfold. Let's go out to Samika Knight. She joins us live again. Samika?
Guys, guess what? I ran into Chad Miller. I'm so excited to see you.
That was so random. I just happened to see you here.
You just happened to see me.
Yeah.
Okay, how you feeling?
I feel good. I didn't know if I would feel good. My training wasn't great this year, but I feel pretty good.
You look
Ask
good?
me on the. I always look good. Ask me on the other side when I see like around mile 20 how I feel. But right now it's good.
Okay, I'm gonna see you over there, Mount 20. I'm gonna leave you in a little bit. And he's kidding. He's always kidding. But you do look good. I'm so glad to see you. Give me a hug.
Good to see you.
It's a sweaty hug, but it's okay. It's okay. Good luck. Go, 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 go. Hey guys, we caught the most amazing family meetup. The Eastons here. Okay, you guys. And I almost cried. I've known them for 10 years along this race route. So, okay, so you saw
my Aunt Allison.
Aunt Allison, and how was it? How was it?
It was great. So wife Allison and then sister-in-law Kim. It was really fun to see them. We come out every year and support. What a great event. Super fun.
And they were a little emotional. At least Allison was a little, I felt like I was missing up a little bit too.
So we've got 2 girls in college. They were on FaceTime. My brother's got 2 girls in college. They were on FaceTime too. It's just fun to see everybody all at once, I think.
I know, and then emotional to see your kids. I remember when they were little along, and now they're in college. They're on FaceTime seeing mom run the marathon. Good to see you guys. Love you guys. Oh, love you guys. Love you guys. Oh, love you. I'll see you next year. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me run this way real quick if you don't mind. Okay, so right here is where we getting a lot of excitement, right? This group right here, bringing it. Hey. This is the Galveston Bay Foundation. Okay, and so we have Bob, and then we have Natasha. Natasha's a squid. Megan is a crab. Okay, let's go over here.
Nikki's a crab.
Nikki's a crab. And
Lisa's a shark.
Lisa's a shark. And I've been standing here with you guys, and Lisa, you're doing something really cool. You're looking at the name badges.
Yes, I am. I'm cheering for everybody. If I can call them out individually and give them some good spirit.
I tell you what, they are doing such a good job. The runners I saw kind of migrated this way. They're looking at them going, yeah. You guys, you've gotten a lot of high fives.
Yeah, we have a lot of really great smiles too. So.
I know, it's so great. Let's see if I can get a high five real quick, Corin. Let's see if I can get a high five. High five. Woo-hoo! My day is made. Sending it back to you guys.
Samika, thank you. You know, behind Samika, you saw a lot of people running, and they weren't running at that record-setting pace that we've been broadcasting at the top of this coverage. But you know what? They're running nevertheless, and they run for all sorts of reasons. Houston's Leslie Dragna says she always liked to run, but she had never tried a marathon. Well, that was until her son was diagnosed with leukemia.
So my reason for running is for my son, Jack. He's my true inspiration. So my husband and I, we were struggling to have kids of our own, and we had some really good friends who had gone through the process of adopting and adopted a little boy. His name is Jack. Jack was really a very healthy child. I had been away on a work trip, and when I came back, my husband said that he had had a fever. And so what we thought was just a routine trip to the doctor's office turned into really a 2.5-year battle. Our son was diagnosed with leukemia within 24 hours of the doctor visit, and we started treatment the very next day.
Jack was diagnosed when he was about 19 months old. Hearing that your son has cancer and that he's going to be in treatment for 2.5 years, 30 months, is absolutely devastating.
And so to see a little baby like that with an IV drip for 24 hours of chemo, he took chemotherapy at home. You know, when you handed him a sippy cup, the first thing he would ask you is, does this have chemo in it? Boy, it was a tough road. It really was. I've been running probably over 30 years. Really, the endurance running started when Jack was about 3. The Leukemia Lymphoma Society has a fundraising arm called Team in Training, and they reached out to my husband and I and asked if Jack could be their honored teammate. We thought this is amazing. This is really awesome. Jack was still going through his treatment, so we decided to do a ceremonial bike ride through our neighborhood, and so we had our first annual crawfish boil and kids bike ride, and we did that for years. And in 2011, we decided it was time to give back to other organizations. We started our foundation, which is called Jack's Ride.
Starting Jack's Ride and starting the fundraisers early on was a perfect opportunity for us to give back to the community.
And we've started to give to other groups that really reached out and helped us throughout our entire journey. So the Periwinkle Foundation is one of our biggest benefactors. We also give back to Texas Children's Hospital, give back to the Sunshine Kids. We now have a scholarship program, so we're hoping that we can find seniors who had either gone through treatment or are currently going through treatment, and we provide a scholarship for them to go to college. So all total, since we've been doing this, we've raised about $300,000.
And Leslie's an absolute inspiration. Her dedication and all the time she commits to running.
So the day we found out that Jack was cancer-free, we had a little bit of pill form chemotherapy still left over, so we actually have a picture of Jack holding the little bottle and pouring it down the toilet. And so we were ecstatic when he was finally free. Jack is currently at A&M, and he's a sophomore studying agricultural economics. I'm actually thankful that we had this journey. It's made our family stronger. It's really defined who we are. My husband and I say all the time, I mean, he's really our superhero. What he went through as a young child really has shaped who he is today, and so he's my reason for running.
So awesome how they are paying it forward. And by the way, we understand that she is at mile 9 right now and going strong. Mustang Pride.
From Memorial High School to A&M, cancer-free, those big smiles on their faces, and now they share that great warmth with the community. What a fantastic story. We're going to take a quick break. Our coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon and the Aramco Half Marathon continues right after this.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
No matter how big or small you are, if you're willing to put in the work, you can get this done.
It's within you. Just go and find it.
Get off the couch and do it.
2024 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
Sign up. Take the plunge. Do it.
Start slow, but go.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
No excuses, Houston!
Facing a fentanyl crisis. Most people don't have an idea how bad this is. We're going to tell you what's being done in Galveston County, from billboards, fentanyl kills, Narcan saves lives, to a vending machine in a pharmacy filled with Narcan. Monday after the game.
So glad to have you with us this morning as we take a beautiful look at the Mecum Fountain. This is in Houston's very lovely museum district. 18 museums in walkable distance from one another, right down the street from our world-class medical community. And we are really proud to be able to show off our fine city as runners come from all over the world to run through the different neighborhoods of Houston, Texas. And we are in downtown.
What a beautiful shot of the Mecum Fountain. It's become kind of an iconic part of our great city there in the museum district. It's a great chance as we speak here to welcome you back, and welcome our panel back. We kind of catch our breath just a bit, reset as we focus on the marathon now with John Warren. John, update us if you can.
The women's marathon is nuts. There's two people in it, Dekibo in the back, and that's Nia in the front. Her training partner and pacer,
Let's
Nita,
tell people which
on
one is.
our left, I guess the right of the screen, not in the orange. where there's only 4 people.
Yeah.
And they're just clicking off 2:18 marathon pace. I mean,
so Nia's from Japan. She's trying to set a Japanese record.
She's shooting for 2:19.12, which is also the course record and the Japanese record. They're well under that now. They still have a ways to go, but they're well under that right now. The men's race is actually interesting because Parker Stinson, who's from Austin, he went to University of Oregon, but he's from Cedar Park High School, is leading this race. He's been falling back, moving up, falling back, moving up. Mostly not because of his doing, because they'll surge. They'll run like 4:57, and they'll run 5:06, and run 4:57. And now he's taking the lead. It's faltered a little bit. It's fallen below 5-minute pace. When the pacer dropped off, it immediately did that. But Onduro in the orange has done most of the leading, and then as we get to these stages of the race, we're in the 19th mile, Parker must be feeling pretty good. I mean, his best post-collegiate thing he's done, he has the American record in the 25K, and he's trying to come back. He's had a rough couple of years, but this is impressive. He must be feeling really confident to be taking the lead at this point with this group.
Coming into this race on the men's side, who were you expecting to see at the front of the pack?
Tashomi Mekinen was kind of like, he's only run 2:13, but he's run really, really good halves, and he's mixed in there somewhere. Evan Sambu has run 2:07, and Ayana's run a couple of 2:08s last year and has a 2:06 PR. That's kind of who I thought would be in the front. I did not think Parker Stinson would be in the front. Parker's run a pretty good marathon, but nothing at this level. I mean, 2:09 pace right now, which is the World Championship standard.
John, if I could, James Gondu, our defending champion, in the mix there as well, as we got to look at our leaderboard. We turn now to Des Linden, 2018 Boston Marathon winner, U.S. Olympian a couple of times, London and Rio. Where are we from the runner's perspective in this marathon?
Yeah, you're in the thick of it now, and I think it's where you start to feel a little bit antsy. You're thinking about the finish line, but you just have to stay composed and patient. Nothing's happening just yet. It's you're working into the moments that really matter. So you're just right in the thick of it. It's staying patient. And I think Parker's doing a great job of that. Like, you see him go to the front. I don't think it's an aggressive move. I don't think he's doing anything outlandish. I think he's running his own race, and the pace is kind of rotating around him. So he's running really smart.
We had some concerns early this morning because it's warm-ish. It's warmer than certainly it was last year by 20-plus degrees. And we thought that for the half marathoners, maybe not a problem. But for the marathoners, it might start to get warm. But we're not seeing signs of this at this point, are we?
We're not. It's a little bit of cloud coverage, it feels like here. And, I mean, we have a man in a long-sleeve shirt, so that tells us something as well. I think that's a little bit bold. I think he'll regret that later. But fluids are going to be really important out there in the later parts of the race, and they need to be taking care of that early and often. And these guys are pros. They've been getting their hydration, their fluids, and staying fueled and cool out there.
One of the great rules of marathon running is 20 miles is the halfway point. So, and that's good if you're a regular runner, you know, you're trying to run 3-4 hours earlier these guys. If there is heat, or if there's wind out there that's bugging them, you're going to start seeing that at 20, 21, 22.
Okay.
They want to stay within themselves as much as possible for that first 20 miles. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. You've got to be patient. You can't go insane. And then the last part will hurt you a little bit. Mm-hmm. And on the side on the women's, the Kibo looks like she's dropping off the pace a little bit from a second ago. I think Nia is just by herself.
Yes, we can see Nia with her pacer.
Yeah. And she's not too far back, but she's dropped off a little bit. At the pace they're going, which is 2:18 pace, that is, you expect her to drop off. Like we said earlier, the Kibo's best time is a 2:26.52. So she could probably essentially jog it in and get a pretty big PR. But if she ends up blowing up at the halfway point, the 20-mile point, it could be some walking and some ugliness.
So many great landmarks in the city of Houston. That certainly includes the Galleria area. Our own Pusha Lodia joins us live from Post Oak and San Felipe.
I am telling you, this is the spot to be. We are at mile 15. Take a look at the spirit out here. The fastest men and women have just gone through this area, and you can see more and more people are coming. So many people are waiting out here. They've been here since early this morning, waiting to cheer on their loved ones. Now, we've been hanging out with Star of Hope. They've got a DJ booth. They are having a total blast. Guys, why do you think it's so important to come out here and support the community?
Yeah, absolutely. Star of Hope, we have 25 runners today, and so we're just cheering them on. They're so good to remember us. in the Star of Hope community, and so we're just so thankful to be able to support them today and all the runners.
I love that. That's one of the things that you always notice about Houston. It really shines, especially during these events. You see groups like this, nonprofits, different community groups that are so involved. Ma'am, you're a volunteer, and I know you're going to run this with me next year, right?
Next year. This is an inspiration to us. This is God's way of saying you have a second chance at life. And look, we're here representing Memorial Hermann Hospital and volunteering for Star of Hope. And Ms. Pooja, thank you. And it's a pleasure being out here. And everybody come out here next year and let's run this marathon.
I love that. You should be a motivational speaker. Thank you so much. Now, as these guys and girls continue to run, I'm going to go because I've got to introduce you to the family of Zach. These are the best signs that I have seen so far, and I'm kind of good at this. This is really something that I notice. All of the signs are my favorite. Guys, you got to turn around. Show your signs to our camera because this is hilarious. Y'all are here for Zach. Why is it so important to be out here?
I mean, just to give them all motivation to keep going. It's like you're running 26 miles. It's fun just to see strangers and your loved ones just cheering you on the entire way.
Absolutely. What's going through your head when you see these people run through here? Half of them look absolutely exhausted.
I'm glad it's you and not me. I think that's the best answer.
Next year, though, I'll see you, right?
Of course, yeah.
Perfect. So
and you'll have a sign for me.
Oh, yes, I'm going to borrow this one. But before I let you go, you've got to tell me why Zach is doing this. He's been doing this now for 5 years. She's been putting up with a lot of training. Why is he doing this?
So, to be honest, the real reason he's doing this is once you've done the Houston Marathon for so many times, you get a status that you have private bathrooms. So that's the goal.
Giving up her husband's secrets. Do you see this? So we will be on the lookout for Zach and his cute butt, obviously. But we will see y'all soon. We're having a great time out here.
Okay, Pooja, thank you. The inside scoop there on why you do it again and again and again.
Of all the reasons to run, I didn't think it was going to be that.
I didn't either. But
I didn't think the sign was going to say that, but you know what? It's fantastic.
People have many reasons for doing what they do. Okay, John, I know you are watching these numbers, and what do you see now at the top of this marathon race?
They're starting to, the wind must be affecting them a little bit because they're starting to line up a little bit more, getting in a straight line as far as racing each other. They're finally. Well, we've been trying to figure out who the runner is who I think is falling off. His name is Abinet Adrero, who's actually run Houston a couple times, a 2:25 marathon in 2018 and a 62-minute half marathon in 2019. But he wasn't even listed as the elites. And he's been hanging out with these guys the whole day. But now they're starting to get near 20 miles. It's going to start that combination of racing plus holding on for a good place. On the women's side, it's just 5:16, 5:17, 5:16, 5:17. They're just holding a pace, and it's just Nia, who's behind Nito, right there on the left, holding a pace the whole way through.
What do you see when you look at Nia there, that race? How's she looking to you, Des?
She's working hard. I mean, she has the benefit of the pacer. It looks like he has splits written on his arm, and he's checking them and making sure he's kind of her governing chip. But you can see some distress on her face. She looks like she's working really hard at this point in the race. She's going for a big personal best and a national record, so that's to be expected. Her story's fascinating. She was a track runner for a long time, and she quit. She retired from the sport, came back in and got onto the roads, and she said she won Houston half marathon, 1:06 and change, set a national record afterwards. They interviewed her. She said, "I still hate running, but it's work, and I feel like this is the work I'm built for, and this is the work I need to be doing." And right now, it looks like she's very much in that work headspace. Like, I don't love this. This is hard, but I'm working and I'm trying to squeeze something out of my potential.
This will be fascinating. The look on her face with over 6 miles to go. If she can continue to run under 5:20 the rest of the way, that is amazing. Now, when she's running for splits, 5:16, that's a good high school mile. If a high schooler runs a 5:16, like that's okay, that's good. Not stupendous, but that's really good. That's someone, if you're a coach, you're like, I want athletes like that can run 5:16. She's held that for 20 now.
That's crazy.
So it'll be very interesting to see how she finishes. Enduro has been doing the bulk of the work since the pacer dropped off around the halfway point. He's he's someone that races really well. He's won here in 17. He won Grandma's Marathon back in June. He finishes really well. He ran 2:08 like 14 years ago, and he hasn't broken 2:09 since. He barely breaks 2:10, but he's very consistent and he can finish. If he's leading, he knows what he's doing. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win the race yet. I'm not so good at the predicting apparently.
No, you got it right.
But he's doing it. I mean, he's doing it because he knows it's the best way he can finish, and he's trying to spread this field out some. It's still impressive that 2 Americans are still in this field, Parker Stinson and Mekinen. They could get a big bonus if they break the course record for the USA record, which is 2:10:36, set 12 years ago by Brett Gotcher. It's an old record, and they're both going after it.
I want to go back, Des, to what you said about Mia and how she says it's hard work. And as a mom of 3 teenagers, I have to say sometimes it's just important to realize that things can be hard work and fulfilling. They're not always like enjoyable at the time, but you sure feel good about it when you're done and you've won or you've done a good job at something.
Absolutely. It's super rewarding, and I think it's a sense of purpose. You go put in the work, and
I'm sure every morning you're training in Michigan in the cold, you're not thinking, oh, this is great.
I think they say love the process, something like that.
Some days more than others, right?
Exactly.
Well, we're headed for a landmark here, the Land Bridge and Prairie Project at Memorial Park. This year a little bit different with a DJ and some lights to kind of spice it up a little bit.
Over here.
Just what you want.
Right?
At about the 20-mile mark, what a beautiful shot, the aerial shot that we provide for you. It is another feature of this remarkable place that is such the foundation for the running community here in Houston, Memorial Park. Everyone has the corner that they love, the place that they love. Bob Slovak is standing by live. Bob?
While we're getting Bob, I just wanted to add, they want to make sure that this becomes a central kind of spot of people to cheer on runners moving forward, and a great rich history there at this park where the marathon began. And like you said, Greg, so many people, so many thousands of people train one of the world's preeminent running training venues.
And what a great shot as they head through. As amateurs, we would call these the tunnels.
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh.
But again, the Land Bridge and Prairie Project.
And it is a cool-looking sight from above, right?
What a great shot from above.
And they're the biggest hills in Houston.
The what?
They're the biggest hills in Houston. Other than the freeway overpasses and stuff, this is the biggest hills in Houston right there.
I think we got Bob ready.
We did get Bob. Bob Slovak joins us live.
Yeah, we're here live here at the Memorial Park Bridge. The official name is the Kinderland Bridge. We got a party going on down here. It is a hoopla station. And with me now from the Memorial Park Conservancy is Shelly Arnold. And Shelly, what's the thought process about putting this at mile 20 here with the Land Bridge?
Well, at mile 20, Bob, everybody's real tired. They need a pick-me-up. They want some fun. The tunnels are just so much fun by themselves, but adding music and a party will just pick everybody up and also give everybody exposure to this project that's opening up on February 11th.
The beat is definitely on down here. I can't wait to see the thousands and thousands of runners as they come through here in a few minutes.
Yeah, the first ones just came through. Super exciting. So it's all the wheelchair racers have been coming through. It's just a lot of fun. Come on down, Houston.
Yeah, when is the official opening?
The opening of this project, which is the Kinder Land Bridge and the Sylvia and Melvin Wolf Prairie, is February 11th, Saturday, February 11th, 10 to 5. Be sure to check Memorial Park Conservancy website or social media to find out where to park, because it's not in the park. We'll shuttle you in. It's going to be a big day.
It will be a fun day. More of the elite runners coming through right now. As I said, the beat is on. I kind of wish Shamika was down here with me. We could do a little bit of dancing out here, that's for sure. It's going to get even more crazy out here as the runners start coming through in mass. We'll stick around. We'll bring you some of those shots here in a little bit. Back to you guys.
All right, Bob, thank you. Obviously, the elite field making their mark, 27,000 strong, the entire field for the Chevron Houston Marathon. So many inspirational stories. That includes a man named Harsh Basine, legally blind, but ready to run in the Houston Marathon.
Hi, my name is Harsh Basine. I'm 34.
I'm running the Houston Chevron Marathon in 2023. Lately, I just love the meditative part of it. Like, once you start running, it just feels very meditative, clear my head, and just enjoy the moment.
My son, Harsh, he born very healthy, was fine, but when he turned after 1.5 years, he started having some issues.
I was diagnosed at a very early age with brain cancer. So just by the location of it, it's not something they can access it surgically. That's how it affected my vision. I have no vision in my right eye. My first radiation was, I believe, in '91, when I was about 2.5, 3 years old. There's limitations, but I've found running has helped me fill that gap in. I was able to work with organizations that provide guides during the races, and they help a lot from letting me know when a turn is coming around.
I'm really happy he found something, so he has aim for his life.
It makes me feel good, but at the same time, I started it as my personal journey. I wasn't thinking that I will be an inspiration to someone else.
Like always, at the finish line, I'm crying.
I'm humbled, but that wasn't something I was expecting out of it.
I am very, very proud on him. He's my life.
If you have any kind of limitations, don't let that limitation stop you from exploring. In my experience, once you just take that initial step, the initiative, there's plenty of people out there who are willing and able to help you out to get where you want to get. But you have to make that initial step, and opportunities will come to you, start knocking at your door.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
When so much is at stake, facts matter. When your family's safety is on the line,
damaging straight line wind is in play with the main line of storms.
Accuracy matters.
We have several breaking stories as we come on the air.
When big breaking news hits too close to home, experience matters. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Turn to ABC 13 Eyewitness News, Houston's most experienced news leader.
Welcome back to the Chevron Houston Marathon, 51st annual and Aramco Half Marathon. You're looking at the Meekum Fountain area. That is our beautiful museum district. And those runners are the regular folks who are, for various reasons, out here challenging their bodies to see how they can hold up on a tour through Houston and its illustrious communities. Des, we've been following the elite runners and trying to see how they're faring. And what do you think of these American runners right now?
Yeah, I mean, Mia is putting a clinic on out front, and so it's easy to get caught up into that, and she's chasing a course record. But behind her, there's an American woman in 4th place and who's running a 2:26:20 pace, Tristan Van Ord. That's going to be a huge personal best for her if she can keep tracking there. And, you know, it just shows that there's depth going on in America, and that's a great performance. That's going to put her in the trials and in the conversation to make an American team. So a nice big jump for her. She trains in North Carolina with Zap Fitness, so certainly a group that knows how to get it done and understands the marathon event. So they've prepared her very, very well.
From the mountains of Boone, North Carolina, and Appalachian State. She's also heavily involved in their track and field program. She helps out as an assistant. We bring back in John Warren. John, on the right side, Hitomi Nia continues to impress. Part of her story, her career was over back in 2014. Had a pretty serious foot injury. Thought she might not run again, but man, she found a way, and is she putting on a show?
She's just a beautiful runner. I got to see her train at Rice a little bit this week, and the ease of which she runs, the way she just bounces off the ground. She looks about, when she's running, she looks about a foot taller than she actually is. She just flows so beautifully. She's faltering a little bit right now. She's running 5:24 was the last mile split we got. It's still on pace to set the record by about 30 seconds. But these little bitty hills here are going to affect her, and then Allen Parkway is going to be very interesting from her end. On the men's side, we have 2 Americans in the top 4. Parker Stinson is slightly fallen off the pace, and Mekinen is right next to Onduro. Onduro's in the orange, and Mekinen is just to his right. He looks really good at this point. And they just came through.
And that's Parker in the white upper body shirt.
Yeah, and he's been doing that the whole day. He falls back, he comes back up. He falls off, he comes back up. They've started running about 5:10, 5:11 pace. So if they're going to get the American course record, they've got to pick it up. They're a little bit off. It's possible, but they're going to really have to run well through those Allen Parkway hills.
And we'll leave you with that shot, the aerial shot of the lead pack in the Chevron Houston Marathon. We'll take a quick break. Our coverage continues right after this.
Weather Alert Day. It's our early warning to help you plan ahead for severe weather.
Today's Weather Alert Day.
We're keeping you better prepared
and safer than ever on days like this.
Street flooding is the primary concern.
Weather Alert Day, only on ABC 13 Eyewitness News, Houston's severe weather leader.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
No matter how big or small you are, if you're willing to put in the work, you can get this done.
It's within you. Just go and find it.
Get off the couch and do it.
2024 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
Sign up.
Take the plunge. Do it. Start slow, but go.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
No excuses, Houston!
Start your day the Houston way. Like tacos or kolaches for breakfast. That's the Houston way. How about 145 languages spoken in one city? That's the Houston way.
Sending a rocket to the moon. That's the Houston way.
And lift off.
Storming 1 minute, sunny the next. Now that's the Houston way. And watching ABC 13 Eyewitness News, that's been the Houston way for decades. You, your parents, even your parents' parents. Start your day the Houston way with ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Welcome back to the Chevron Houston Marathon and our coverage from all all sorts of locations all around the Houston community. This is actually a split at Bissonnette and Mandel, where those who are running the half marathon go one way, and those who are doing the full 26.2 miles go the other direction. So this is one beautiful community in Houston, kind of not far from the Museum District. And there is the finish line in downtown Houston, right near where Minute Maid Park is, where the Astros, our World Series champs, make their home, and the Houston Rockets as well make their home. And that finish line, people are coming right past us. They are going to it, and it's glorious for these. These are half marathoners, obviously, that are coming across right now. The regular folks who made time in their schedules to dedicate to trying to do their personal best out here today, some for themselves, some for others, and we just love that. I mean, these people don't look like world-class athletes maybe, but they have the same heart, right?
They absolutely do, and they have a world-class dedication to taking part and attempting to finish in a certain time for all these great reasons that we hear about. You saw the joy from the race course earlier, the entire family, generations cheering on, sister and mom and wife and sister-in-law. Everybody was so thrilled to share that moment, FaceTiming in with the kids who are in college, and everybody was able to share it. It is just fantastic. And you can see
hugs, not drugs.
Absolutely.
Like, give it to me.
Some of the exuberance. There's a long way to go for a lot of those folks, but the exuberance is absolutely great. One of the things that really caught my eye as we took a shot of the Meekum Fountain, we had some folks shedding some layers.
Okay.
So we talked about the weather, and Des is kind of shaking her head. Shedding some layers, it feels a little crisp up here for us with the wind, but when you're out there and you're working, Des, it may be time to take off a layer or two because it is quite a bit warmer than it has been in years past.
Yeah, they're getting into the heart of it now, and it's, you know, hydrate, drink early and often. That's kind of the rule of thumb, but it's to be expected. You know, we knew that today was going to be on the warmer side for these marathoners, and they've adjusted their paces accordingly, and we're starting to see it reflect in the times on both the men's and the women's leaders. They're bleeding a little bit of time. It's that effort, that perceived effort just kind of shoots through the roof when you get the heat added to the late miles.
For people who have not visited Houston before, we want to orient you toward our view right here. This is downtown Houston. This street there where you see the runners is Allen Parkway, and we are known as the Bayou City. We take that very proudly. We actually have several skyline areas here in Houston. The Galleria area is its own kind of secondary skyline community, and we think here in Houston we have something for everyone. A diverse city culturally, some of the best food in the world, a divergent group of cuisine that come together, and we are awfully proud to be able to show off our community for people who are coming to visit for, we hope, a 4-day weekend. We hope they'll stick around for MLK Day tomorrow and enjoy our parades. In fact, ABC 13 will be streaming coverage of that. So we welcome you watching or you who are visiting.
Absolutely. From around the world, so many people watching on our streaming platform, watching on ABC13.com. Welcome one and all. You mentioned the distinct neighborhoods. The Galleria certainly qualifies, and Pooja Lodia has that locked down for us. We welcome her again from Post Oak and San Felipe. Pooja?
We are having such a great time out here. Just take a look at this view. We love being out here. The weather is beautiful for spectators. I know it's a little bit warm for all of those participating in the marathon, but for us, this is incredible. So before we do anything else, I want to introduce you to a couple of these volunteers. They are so excited to be here. They've been bringing that Houston spirit. What have y'all noticed about this today? What have you seen out here?
Very powerful people. Very encouraging for us.
It really is inspirational, right? To see them. They are continuing to go. It is warm out here. It's tough. What about you? What have you really been inspired by?
I've been inspired by the fact that they're hitting 15 miles and they're still going like they just started. I've been watching the channel since they started, and it's been so inspirational. We're actually waiting for one of our friends to come by. He's only 17 and he just decided to run the marathon last year.
That's incredible. I keep telling myself I'm going to do the same thing. So shout out to Denny. And while we continue to wait for Denny, of course, I want to introduce you to the family of Uncle Nick, because they are so excited to be out here. Now, he is actually visiting from out of state. He came out here to participate. Why did you want to come out here to support him?
Because it's inspiring. There's nothing like the Houston Marathon. We've come here year after year, and we love it. It's so much fun.
And I love that y'all brought kids, too. And I know you said that's Nick's dad over there, just staring at all of the runners, waiting for him to come by. This is obviously a very big deal for all of you. What does this mean for you?
Well, for me, Nick ran last year. He inspired me. I ran the 5K yesterday.
Oh, congratulations!
So it's just so good to see him out here hustling and just doing what he loves.
That is so fantastic. And he's actually not far, right? I know you've been tracking him, right?
Yes.
So he's a couple of minutes away.
Yes, he's a few minutes, about 5 to 7 minutes away. So we should see him any minute now.
That's amazing. What has it been like tracking him? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel excited? Like, what does it feel like as you see how he's doing?
Oh, it feels great, and it's great to get the live updates. We're pacing him out, timing him, so love the app, super helpful.
Well, that is great, and we are all rooting for Nick. Guys, I just want to give you a look at the crowd out here. We've got Star of Hope here. We've got all kinds of community organizations, all types of families that are just out here cheering on all of these runners. Many of them don't even know many of these people, but it just means so much for them to be out here and to really get inspired. I'll see you soon. Back to you.
All right, Pooja, thank you. That is super cool how they're able to track their loved ones on this course. And that's something, years ago you couldn't do. So the magic of technology.
Well, the advances in all of this for our race coverage, the drones, the shot from the helicopter, so many things that we brought you from the course as we invite John Warren back in. Some exciting developments on the men's side, John. It looks like we've got a breakaway pack of 3 runners who are beginning to assert themselves.
Here's a prediction I never thought I'd get wrong, that you'd hit the hills of Allen Parkway and go faster.
Wow.
They were running 5:10, 5:11. They threw in a 4:57 and a 5 flat through those hills.
About? What do you think's going on with
They're
that?
racing now, and Enduro is the one who's pushing the pace. He's planning this. He's trying to break them off a little bit, I think.
Isn't there a little bit of wind, too, you said? There might be a little bit of wind?
There should be a crosswind at that point, which is still not fun. I mean, a crosswind's still like, oh, this hit me in the face. It's really not, but it's not helpful by any means.
Okay.
And I think that's what Ayana's doing, sticking behind him. As an aside for Ayana, he's married to Berktuit Degifa, who's won this race 3 times. So he's trying to catch up in the family, I guess, by being a victor in this race.
Doesn't want her to have all the bragging rights.
And then also in this is Mekinen, who's next to Enduro in second place here. He became a U.S. citizen in August. So he's actually racing to be the first American to win. Technically, I guess it's 02 or 03 when Sean Wade won, but there was a couple years when there was no prize money. So I don't count that. You have to go back to 1990 when Paul Pilkington won this race as the last time that a true pro, even though Sean ran 2:10, he was a really good runner. Not that day, but he's a really good runner. It's been many, many years since an American's won this thing.
I don't want to speak for our 2-time Olympian, but she kind of perked up when the wife had all the bragging rights in the family. She kind of liked that angle. As we also look at the men's side here, Des, the women's side, Hitomi Nia, her pacer has dropped out. She is on her own. Where is she right now mentally as she pushes towards the finish?
Look, the first 20 miles are transportation. You're just getting to the race start. That's done. She's there. She's in the thick of it right now. She's chasing 2:19.12. That's the Japanese national record and also the course record. It's slowly slipping away from her. She's right on the bubble. So this is the moment that this is what you train for. This is the why. She's digging into that. Why do I do this? How bad do I want it? I got to keep going. We run the first 20 of the race with our head. Very strategic, tactical, thinking man's game, thinking women's game. You run the last 10K with your heart. This is all heart right now, and she's digging deep. She's fighting for every second. She's got the race locked up, but there's still so much on the line for her, and she's going to drive all the way to the finish line with that heart.
It gave me chill bumps the way you described that you run with your mind in the first 20, and then at the end you're running with your heart. And we've been watching that expression on her face and how it doesn't look comfortable or easy. But she's putting in the work and hoping that her training pays off for her. And like you say, that her heart kicks in. Yes.
You're focused on her heart. I was struck, the mere mortal sitting next to Des. The first 20 miles.
I know,
that's transportation. That just sets you up for the real tough, man. I mean, come on. It is amazing to watch these world-class athletes dig deep. These men are going to compete. This is going to be a fantastic finish on the men's side.
I mean, when you look at the men's faces, Des, what are you seeing? Do they look like they're comfortable to you?
They do. They look locked in. They're very deep into the race. You can tell they're feeling it, but they're all teeing themselves up for a good run to get the win. And this is going to be really fascinating. Andorro, he knows how to win. He's won 4 times in Twin Cities. He's won in Grandma's Marathon. He has course records, so I think that puts him in a great position for the American McKinnon. This is his kind of a breakthrough for him. You know, this is new, uncharted territory. He believes he has the potential to do this, and he's proving he's there, but he's got to punch through and you know, figure out what Andorro knows, and that's how to win.
You know, John, we saw that in the half marathon where the veteran, the crafty veteran, knew how to win in the end.
I would look at this. Well, there he just fell off. McKinnon looked worse than the other two. This is up a slight hill, but he might come back. But he was grimacing a little while ago, and it's showing now. He's dropping off the pace. I think Ayana looks outstanding. He just looks so comfortable. He's let Andorro do all the work. And they ran a 5:04 mile on these little bitty hills, so they're still moving pretty good.
You don't usually see a long distance runner this tall.
He's probably not that tall.
Okay, he's just tall for
and when I ran marathons, I was a giant.
Yeah.
When you're really that skinny, and they're really skinny, they actually look taller than they truly are.
I remember the first time I did this coverage with you guys, and I was like, what are they, like about 175? And they were like, no, like 130, Gina.
No, like 115.
115.
Those are the guys.
Smaller, yeah.
They're even smaller. And one thing about Nia I want to mention real quick.
Yeah.
If she doesn't get that 2:19.12, it's not like a failure of a day. Her personal best is 2:21.17.
Okay.
So if she only gets a PR by, say, 1:30, that's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
I'd take that.
Yeah.
I'd take that.
Yeah, she might just break 2:20 and be disappointed.
Well, they are downtown now. The men marathoners are.
They're about 3.5 minutes away from getting to us.
Yeah.
So and it looks like similar to the men's race. It's going to be, you know,
half marathon race. You mean?
Right. Yeah, the men's half marathon race. The tactics are different now. The experienced veteran is stuck up front, and we'll see if that's a smart move or not. Because at this point, I don't think anyone's going to catch them, and they're not going to get a record of any sort. I mean, the question is going to be, right, do they break 2:11 or not? Which is, I was saying earlier today about how how fast this course. We get spoiled here. We think, oh, if you don't run 2:07 or 2:08, it's slow. 2:10, 2:11 is a great marathon. It's an absolutely great time to run. It'll be one of the better times, one of the better American marathons.
What a spectacular shot. You can see the duel. You can see the absence of any distance between them, shoulder to shoulder. Andorro looks like he's trying to make a bit of a move here. I can see Des shaking her head.
Yeah, he's drilling down, and I think he knows I don't want this to be a sprint. You don't want to get to 26 miles and go, now I got to sprint for the win. So let's try to break this thing open early. Ayana's covering everything. He looks composed. And he might have a little bit of comfort level with these temperatures. He was 4th at the 2021 Boston Marathon. It was thick and humid in the fall. So this isn't out of his comfort zone. He looks great.
And he's in a perfect spot because he's able to sit on his shoulder and see everything that's going on. So I think Ayana's got the edge right here. But we said Andorro knows how to win. Andorro knows how to race. So this is going to be quite
Ayana's checking his watch. He's like, hey, it might be time to go.
And I want to remind people at home, you're looking on the right side of your screen. Those are the half marathoners. And then you see someone, you know, the elite runners finishing alongside them running a full marathon.
Is that Stinson catching back up?
He's at the very top of your screen.
Oh, no, it's McKinnon right behind him. Okay. Yeah, he's coming back a little bit, but I know things are always, they look closer on TV.
There is the move.
There's the move, yes.
There's the move, John.
And I'm trying to see them as they
Andorro's not done yet.
Andorro responded. He just has to get another meter or so on him, and Andorro will struggle.
Oh, Andorro's...
Yeah, he just has the grimace from Andorro.
When you move, you want to get a couple meters. You want to discourage...
Here they come by us.
That extra little surge.
We're at LaBranche and Lamar.
They got about 100 meters to go.
It's opening up.
This is the sprint to the finish line. We are almost home. 26.2 miles.
Ayana cannot cruise this in. Oh, Andorro's coming back.
Sure is. Oh, my, he's left to look back. We're getting one of those photo finishes again.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, he did it.
Oh, my God.
Doro. Just when it looked like Guyana had made the move to separate. Wow, Des has a look on her face. What did we just see there, Des?
There are people who know how to win, there are people who love to win, and there are people who hate to lose. I think Onduro hates to lose, and he saw that slipping away from him. He said, not today. He found that gear because living with that feeling for the next year until he can get back to Houston and fix it was not going to sit with him. Hats off to Onduro. What a finish.
Wow. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll say how he found that energy, because it wasn't like Guyana stumbled or slowed down. He was able to find a surge over 30 meters to make up 3 or 4 meters. That's an amazing finish after 26 miles.
So as they pass us, Ayana is looking at his watch.
Yeah.
He has a lead that appeared to be 3 or 4 meters. It is a sprint to the line from there. We all just believe at that point that he's going to be the champion.
We did.
Onduro has a huge grimace on his face. I thought he was done. And from here to the finish line, he found a way. And here he comes. We'll see it again, this remarkable finish.
So that's the closest race since 1996.
Yeah, incredible.
And there's been a number of close races. That was incredible.
There it is. And so from where we're sitting to the finish line is what, about 150, 200 yards maybe?
About 100 yards.
Okay, 100 yards. Okay, so there's where it changed in just the last little bit. So an incredible finish to both of the men's races here today, both the half marathon and the marathon, and we are not done yet.
Yep. I have a prediction that's going to be right. Nia's going to win.
There she is.
That's
There
like
she
saying
is.
that's like the kicker's jinx, man. Like,
Yeah, wow.
he never misses. This is where she gets the cramp, and then we all blame you.
Yeah, she's in mile 25. Hopefully she's able to at least to do that.
She's on 2:19:10 pace right now. That's the latest update. So she is just flirting with that, and she's going to have to do something really special these last 2K to make this happen, to get that record. But she's looking, I don't want to jinx it, but she's looking good for the win.
One of the signs of how tired she is, she's not running the shortest route. She's not hugging that curve. You're just in like an instinctive mode, non-thinking mode. So she's adding a little distance to herself at this point, because I think she is that fatigued. But, I don't think she will, but again, I'm predict this. She's got to run a sub 5:20 to get this record, and she might. She seems to be a pretty phenomenal athlete that can dig down deep and respond. But most likely she'll get the win, but not get the record.
Some of you are watching because you want to see your friend or your colleague run in this race to the streets of Houston. Some of you are wanting to watch records being set or elite runners competing. And you both groups are getting some of what they bargained for today. We're going to take a quick break and come back for more of the Chevron Houston Marathon after this.
No matter how big or small you are, if you're willing to put in the work, you can get this done.
It's within you. Just go and find it.
Get off the couch and do it.
2024 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
Sign up.
Take the plunge. Do it. Start slow, but go.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
No excuses, Houston!
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
Facing a fentanyl crisis, most people don't have an idea how bad this is. We're going to tell you what's being done in Galveston County, from billboards,
fentanyl kills, Narcan saves lives,
to a vending machine in a pharmacy filled with Narcan. Monday after the game.
Welcome our live coverage, the Chevron Houston Marathon. There's our women's leader, Hitomi Nia from Japan, trying desperately to finish strong so she can match or even break the Japanese national record. She has led almost from start to finish. Her pacer led the way. He has dropped off. She is on her own with a significant margin as she turns towards the finish line. My goodness, what we've seen today.
What a beautiful stride when you see it like that. Because you just see how even her gait is. But you pointed out earlier, John, that she's not taking the tightest run there around the curves.
Because she looks like she's flying right now.
It does look that way.
Granted, I don't get to see this view very often for training, so I'm not sure. But normally at a 5:20 pace, you don't look like you're going that fast, as good as they are. She looks like she's going really fast.
Yes, Linda, what do you think?
She knows she's on the bubble. Their updates are saying plus minus 5 seconds for this record. There's nobody pushing her, but there's history pushing her. This is a you versus you moment. She's going to fight for every second, and that's what you're seeing right there. She's not settling in and saying, hey, I got the win in the bag. She's going to get every second out of this, and we're going to see that stretch out all the way to the line.
She may break the record and not break 2:19, which is a hard window to hit. But
break which record and not hit 2:19?
The Japanese record and the course record. Okay. So she's coming down to, she's got about a quarter mile to go, a little bit more. And, she's got a real good shot here. Again, my predictions haven't worked out very well.
We can see her from both angles. We see her there on the right side. That's her by herself.
Well, the TV's the tricky thing. I mean, it's the nature of, like, she's obviously not as close to 26 as you think, because those folks are not in a hurry to get out of the way, because they're quite a ways back. But I think there's a good chance if she can find a kick. And that's a big question, because one of the things that goes through your mind right now, your body right now, is like, if I really hammer, will something cramp? Will something go and make the whole thing blow up and then not win the race?
Mm-hmm. This is a quarter mile to go. You're seeing her kind of approach that flag on the side there. So think about the quarter mile, that 400 meters, how much that hurts, and add 26 miles to that.
Did she just give dap to that woman on the side? I thought I saw her give her 5. Maybe that was an optical illusion.
She's just going to miss it, isn't she? She's going to be like, I don't think she can run a 60. I think it's going to be hard.
Well, impressive nonetheless.
It's hard when you're out there by yourself, I would think, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, this has just been an effort, a solo effort all day. She had the help of a pacer, and you know, you have to be incredibly mentally tough to keep digging and to keep fighting for every second. She's going to win in spectacular fashion. The total clinic she's put on today, and this is one of the fastest times for a Japanese runner. I think outside of Berlin, the only time 2:20 has been broken by a Japanese runner. So Houston gets it done again.
Here she comes. She's passing us right now, so she's nearing the last 100 yards or so.
It's even more impressive up close.
It is, yeah, when you see them pass by.
The pace that she's using to get to the finish line, meters away now at this point.
250,000 people on the streets of Houston able to cheer her on, and all these other runners. Oh, no, what?
She's that close. It's going to be within 10 seconds.
I'm like, what happened? Oh, no.
No, not Leia. She's still going to win.
I'm like, what happened?
Monster race for her, too. Huge personal best. Another step forward.
Yeah,
look at her face.
It's a 2-minute personal best.
Yeah.
2:19.24.
That's have mixed feelings after the race. It's like, she didn't get her goal, but my goodness, she ran fast.
What a great race, yeah.
I don't even know who the next finisher is. The next finisher is going to be minutes behind and have a great race. You know, it's going to be that's also the second fastest time by 4 minutes ever run in Houston.
Wow, by 4 minutes.
Yamato ran 2:19.12 last year. The best time, the course record part of that was 2:23.14. So she had taken 4 minutes off. And now that she's, again, taken the second best time is now 4 minutes better than the third best time. Just amazing.
Well, back-to-back incredible finishes, remarkable here at the Chevron Houston Marathon. That includes that two-man duel to the very wire on the men's side. Our Adam Winkler standing by with our men's champion. Adam?
Guys, we're going to welcome Dom Ondoro up to the stage in just a moment. He's taking a minute to hydrate. We're going to ask him what these conditions were like. We've heard you guys talking about it on the desk, how they feel delightful for the folks like us who are never going to run a half marathon or a full marathon, but they were difficult, especially towards the end. I can tell Dom, even being the champion, making sure to hydrate right now. He's also putting on a different set of clothes, but we will get him up here in a moment. He is now a two-time champion of our Chevron Houston Marathon. He won this race back in 2017. So he's going to have two cowboy hats, and we look forward to presenting him with the second cowboy hat in a minute because, come on, we're in Texas. You can never have enough or too many cowboy hats. I see Dom getting ready. Hey, he just pounded the pavement for 26.2 miles as fast as he can go. We can give him a couple extra seconds down here before he takes my dopey questions, I think. Our indelible producer, Joe Gleason, is over there, being the gentleman that he is, not pushing him, but reminding him that we're ready to do some live television. All right, I see Dom making his way up to the stage right now. All right, here he is. Come take a step closer to me, Dom. Dom Ondoro, now a two-time champion of our Chevron Houston Marathon. Before I ask you about being a two-time champion, you have to take me through that finish. It was a two-man race back and forth. What was it like for you?
I was happy to win first and 100 to win this race. The last 1 kilometer was hard, but thank God I finished. Yeah.
Did you have any doubt that you had enough in the tank there at the end?
No.
You won this race back in 2017. You're now the Chevron Houston Marathon champion in 2023. And you've made all those races in between. How special is this event to you, and what does it mean to be a two-time winner?
I like Houston because the course was flat. Yeah.
Flat and fast.
Flat and fast, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you train up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, correct?
Yeah.
How did that help you with these conditions today, Dom?
The weather was good. It's like 56. Yeah, I like the weather like this. Yeah.
We think the conditions are prime because we're sitting here holding a microphone, wearing makeup, watching it. What was it like for you? Did you feel it? Do you feel tired? I've been seeing you pounding some water after the race. How does the body feel right now, Dom?
Sorry?
How does your body feel right now after that race?
Feeling well. Yeah.
Easy for him to say. All right, Dom, I know you have a cowboy hat from 2017.
Yeah.
We're going to give you another one. It's almost rodeo season, my man. We got to get you another one. I'm going to bring up Bruce Niemeyer from Chevron and his wife, Kathy. I think they're ready to present our cowboy hat. Can we get Bruce Niemeyer and his wife, Kathy, from Chevron up here to present Dom with the signature cowboy hat? Dom, I'll let you step right over here. Hey, Bruce. All right, here's Kathy and Bruce Niemeyer. They're going to present Dom Ondoro, a 34-year-old from Kenya, with the signature trophy from our Chevron Houston Marathon, the cowboy hat. Bruce, feel free to do the honors, sir. There he is, Dom Ondoro, a perfect fit for a two-time champion. His time, 2:10:36, our champion of the Chevron Houston Marathon 2023. We'll send it back to y'all.
I always love to see those big smiles in those cowboy hats. Wonderful, wonderful. You know, I want to point out this is such a rare and special event, this Houston Marathon and Half Marathon. World Athletics is a governing body for track and field, and they designate elite athletic events for track and field. And this event, the marathon and the half marathon, both have the gold designation, the only double designee gold events in the country. So super special event that we are enjoying today here in downtown Houston. Well, I shouldn't say in downtown Houston because we're all over Houston.
We are
so all over Houston that we're enjoying.
Yeah,
so
the
congratulations.
idea that you would have a World Athletics gold label event and simultaneously have another is just unheard of anywhere around the country, and everyone who is behind this event should be so very proud of that. Gina, you mentioned we're spread out all over. Samika Knight has been all over as well, now rocking it from Tanglewood. Samika, how we doing?
we are doing great. I'm looking at these athletes. We just had an incredible meetup. This Clayton and the boys, they were rooting on Mom, and Mom literally just passed by. What were you thinking?
That she was going awesome, but she was just like 10 minutes off her pace.
I love your honesty. She looked great, right? Mm-hmm. See, what did you think when you saw Mom?
I thought she was pretty worn out.
I love it. And she looked great. What did you think? Boy, you guys have been waiting.
Awesome. Yeah, she's doing great. She's really been pacing where she should. This is like her 4th or 5th year to run it, and she's trying to qualify for Boston. So she needs to be at a 3:35 pace for her age, and we're hoping she can do it. So.
Well, she has y'all's support, and the boys look great, by the way. Yeah. Clayton said that Mom wanted to make sure they looked cute on, race day. So, Dad, you did a good job. Hey, we've been talking about the hoopla committee. Oh, real quick, we just saw this runner here. I missed this, but this runner is now down on the ground. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but medics are checking him out. I'm not sure, again, what's going on, but we'll check on that in just a little bit. But, that happens. You guys have been talking about the weather and other conditions and potentially an injury there. We'll check on that. But the hoopla committee, we've been talking about that, right? And here's a point in the race where it's just before the wall. So the hoopla committee got Dan. Hey, Dan! Come here real quick. Dan brought the music, and I have seen these runners who are pretty tired, kind of fist bumping and going on, doing the Macarena.
That's right. We were trying to wind them up, keep them going.
Yeah, you got some pretty good specials going on here, huh?
Yeah. All the disco you can stand this morning.
What are you thinking so far?
I think so far it's good. The energy's good. Everybody seems to be having a good time. The smiles on the runners' faces is everything,
Keep the music going, Dan, all right?
We're going to cheer them on all the way.
Hey, can I tell you one more thing? I had some signs to show you guys. Oh, hey guys, who are you cheering on?
Jill Smyer.
Jill Smyer. Is Jill coming through?
She'll be coming through shortly. This is her family.
Any minute. Okay, Jill, we're trying to wait on you, Jill. Okay, but guys, I want to let you know that here. Oh, this is Jill. Where's Jill?
Shorts.
In the pink shorts. Right there. Hey, Jill, you guys see her in the pink shorts? You see her? Hey, Jill, we're all rooting you on. Jill, come on, Jill. Jill had no idea she'd be on live TV trying to get it down here. Look at this crowd. Hi, Jill. Good job, Jill. You think Jill might have? Jill, you're doing great. How you feeling, Jill? Hey, love it, Jill. Good job, Jill. Oh, that was awesome. That was so awesome. What'd you think?
Thank you. She's doing great. She's trying to get to the Boston.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So we're having a good time out here. I'm sending it back to you guys. I'm seeing so many meetups, and I'm getting chills.
Super cool, Sanika. Thank you so much for bringing us up close and personal with Jill. We want to go from Tanglewood over to the Memorial Land Bridge and Prairie, where Bob Slovak is standing by live for us. Bob?
Yeah, we got the music still blaring out here. It's a hoopla station put on by the Memorial Park Conservancy. And then we got a few fans out here. We got Melissa and her son Mark here. Show us these signs right here. I like this one, Mark. What does it say?
You can do it. You're one step closer.
Why'd y'all choose to come out here? Now, it's a party. I know that's probably the main reason.
Yes, we came out to support our fellow runners at Sigma Run Club and just to enjoy the new park. So, part of the park.
It is pretty neat, too, because this is the 20-mile marker where sometimes they hit the wall. Yeah. I see the runners giving all the fans out here thumbs up like, hey, this is working.
Yes, it is. I'm hoping that it's the last ride-in and we can help get them there. So, it's really exciting to see them.
It has been some fun. I'm going to jump over here to Marissa. Marissa, what brought you out here for this party?
I wanted to join the Memorial Conservancy here and cheer on my friend Joel McClincy.
Has he come by yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I'm cheering on, having fun, cheering on all the runners and the wheelchair participants.
The whole part of this hoopla station is to pump them up here at mile 20. Yeah. I think it's working.
Oh, yeah. We got the cowbells. We got noisemakers here cheering them on.
And we got the blaring music that's pumping us up.
I'm having fun here dancing to the music.
That is the story out here at the Memorial Park Land Bridge. The party's going to continue. Back to you guys.
Bob, thank you so much. This great event continues to evolve, add new layers and new things that make it special. You can see the smiles on everybody's face as they pass the DJ, which is remarkable at Memorial Park. All of this great stuff really starts with our title sponsor. We are so pleased to be joined by Margaret Cooper from Chevron. Congratulations on another remarkable event. What do you think about these amazing finishes on the men's side, separated by a meter perhaps after 26.2 miles?
I mean, you can't think that it gets more exciting. It does. I mean, that was amazing to watch, and to have all of these elite runners right here in Houston making these just incredible finishes. It's fun to watch.
You know, I'm sure Chevron is asked to co-sponsor or to contribute to so many things all of the time. Why have you guys married yourselves to this event? Really, you've committed for the long haul.
It is a marriage. It is a partnership. We are so proud of it. This is our 18th year, and you know, think of some of the numbers, and you know, 250,000 people out there in the Houston streets watching this. $51 million to the Houston community. But for us, a big part of it is, since 1995, $35 million raised for nonprofits. So the day's wonderful, but for Chevron, what it does for the community all year long is a big part of that partnership.
Well, speaking of all year long, so many of your great team members at Chevron are really dedicated to this event year round. Tell us about kind of that level of dedication, the satisfaction that the great people take from that, and to see the pride that they take in seeing that Chevron name associated with the Houston Marathon.
So we have 7,000 employees who call Houston home. This is the biggest location we have around the world, and so you're right, it is year-round. We're volunteering. We've got 120 employees out there on the track today who are volunteering. We have a lot running, and so the fact that they get to say, hey, Chevron is helping us do this, we get to be a part of it through our company, it does mean a lot.
And it gives us a chance, us Houstonians, a chance to really show people all over the country and even people in the world some of what makes Houston special. Tell us about your thoughts on that.
You know, last year I was thinking about this, coming back from COVID and doing the run back again. We thought that was just such an amazing thing, but wow, look at this year, how Houston shows up. And it truly is a worldwide event. And I think the donations to nonprofits is a good example of that. That's Houston's generosity.
Yeah.
That's not just Chevron's. That's all of us coming together to do these things. And so I'm sure it exists somewhere else in the world, but I haven't seen it the way Houston does it.
Well, like you said, a partnership, and we certainly are glad that you've been a part of it for so many years. Appreciate
Thank you.
Yeah, somebody has to lead the way to make all those great things happen, and we know that you're very proud of Chevron's commitment, and we thank you for your time and for making this such a great event. 51st edition this year, Chevron Houston Marathon. Margaret Cooper, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more right here on ABC 13. Chevron awarded 3 local charity organizations $25,000 each as part of this year's Chevron Houston Marathon Run for a Reason Charity Challenge. The challenge.
Coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon is sponsored by the Houston Marathon Committee. Registration for the 2024 race opens today at 4 p.m.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
We're ready to go. Aramco is proud to sponsor the Aramco Houston Half Marathon and co-sponsor the We Are Houston 5K. Whether you are a seasoned runner or it's your first race, whether you are cheering from the sidelines or lending a helping hand, all of us run this race together. See you at the finish line. Run, cheer, volunteer.
Everybody want to see the best. They came to see us. Let's put on the show, baby. All right, baby. Let's go be great, girl.
The energy to perform our best starts with a single heartbeat, then another, until a collective drumming of the heart drowns out any doubt. The energy we need comes from a community, pushing us to go harder, go further, be better. At Chevron, we know the power of human energy. This is human energy at work. Chevron, proud sponsor of the Houston Marathon.
The Chevron Houston Marathon, Aramco Houston Half Marathon, and We Are Houston 5K, sponsored by Chevron and Aramco.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon. Our women's champion, the leader from start to finish, Adam Winkler, standing by now with Japan's Hitomi Nia.
Greg, thank you so much. An absolutely dominant performance by Hitomi Nia. She won our half marathon, the Aramco, here in 2020. She is now our Chevron Houston Marathon champion. Eliana here is going to translate. Hitomi, I have to ask you about the race. There looked like there was little doubt. How did it feel for you?
どんな感じでした？走るとき、走ってるとき、すごい応援が多くて、2020年に一度ヒューストンハーフに出てるんですけど、その時と同じようにたくさんの応援の中で走れたことをとても嬉しく思います。
So she previously ran the marathon in 2019, and there was a lot of cheering. And this time as well, there was a lot of cheering, and very happy for the cheering, and overall a very happy feeling. It's good to be back.
We love to hear about the spirit at our marathon. Hitomi, you're one of the most decorated athletes in the history of Japan. You're also one of the most decorated here in Houston. You now have the second fastest full marathon. You ran the third fastest half marathon. Can you speak to us about your legacy and what Houston means to you now with this history?
今のヒューストンの、意味、自分の意味に何がになりました。前にヒューストンも、勝ちましたでしょう。じゃあ今はヒューストンはどんな感じ？
前回はハーフマラソンだったんですけど、今回はフルマラソンということで、もう、なんだろう、ハーフの時とは違う苦しさはあったんですが、やっぱりハーフと違って倍苦しさはあったものの、やっぱり応援がすごく背中を押してくれたので、終始気持ちはすごい楽に楽しめて走れました。
So when I ran the marathon in 2019, it was a lot of challenge during that marathon, but running it this year, being in Houston again, it became a lot more relaxed, a lot easier. It's a good place to return to. Yes.
Eliona, Hitomi, my final question for you. You talk about a return. You left this sport in 2014. After a half decade, you came back. You are seeing so much success. I wonder what the emotions are as you see yourself win races like this after your layoff. You thought you might have been done.
じゃあ2014年に、走るのスポーツが、やめましたでしょ。でも2019年に、戻りました。じゃあ今の勝ったの感じどうですか？
もう一度この世界、この陸上、このスポーツに戻ってきて、本当に、自分がここまで力を戻せたのは本当に常に私の味方でいてくれるチームメイトだったり、サポートしてくれる人だったり、ファンの人だったりっていう人たちが私の本当に力になっているので、これからも頑張ります。
So coming back to the sport, coming back to win really brings her power, because the goal is to support her fans, support her teammates, and coming back really gives her that ability to do so.
Fans, teammates, and an entire country very proud of you today. You're the champion. Now, the winner of the Aramco Half Marathon, you get a belt buckle. The winner of the Chevron Houston Marathon, you get a cowboy hat. Hitomi, she's going to have a matching set to go with that belt buckle. Going to bring up Emir Bonner and Sunday Shepard from Chevron to make the presentation to our women's Chevron Houston Marathon winner, Hitomi Nia of Japan, running a 2:19:24. Our 2023 Chevron Houston Marathon champion. Big smile, big hat, the way we like to do it here in H-Town. Congratulations, Hitomi. We'll send it back to y'all.
Oh, Adam, that's just fantastic. The big smile on her face. And Des, I would turn to you. You talked to us. She was very honest in past races about some of the work and some of the difficulties of this sport. That big, big smile tells you that this is a landmark moment for her.
Absolutely. It's all coming together. I thought maybe she was thinking about the hat and the belt buckle and saying, you know what, I'm going to head to the rodeo. This is it. I'm done. No, it's really cool to see that come together. And it is. It's hard work, and you put in the hours, and it's like the grind, we call it. But the moments like that make it special. They make it worth it. And I think she's got a lot of great running in front of her.
Yeah, John?
And in Japan, the marathon is a huge deal, more so than other track events. I mean, they used to be a more dominant country. I think it was 2 years ago, they're giving $1 million to anyone that set the national record.
Wow.
And they really want to get it going again, and she's a huge step in that direction.
Very good. Okay, well, let's go from talking about the elite athletes to some of the regular folks who are out here running today. Gavino Rios has served our country for more than 30 years as a U.S. Marines, and as he's nearing retirement, he decided that he wanted to end his career the same way he started it, running a marathon.